Success isn't a mystery, it's a choice. And today you'll discover the exact choices that set the 2% apart from the 98%. This isn't about talent, luck, or random chances. It's about habits, mindset, and daily decisions that compound into massive results. If you're ready to take control of your life, to finally break free from the cycle of struggle, and to start making progress every single day, this video is for you. You'll uncover the secrets that the top 2% use to achieve their goals, stay disciplined, and rise above challenges. These aren't just tips. These are game-changing shifts you can implement right now. Watch closely, because what you learn here today will change the way you approach every area of your life. The path to success is simpler than you think, and it starts with a single powerful decision. Let's dive in and unlock the strategies that will take you from ordinary to extraordinary. Chapter 1. Train your mind like the top 2%. Training your mind like the top 2% is not about wishful thinking or repeating affirmations in front of a mirror. It is about reshaping your entire way of perceiving reality, controlling your thoughts, and developing the discipline to take action no matter how you feel. The difference between those who succeed and those who struggle lies in how they think, how they react to challenges, and how they control their focus. Most people allow their minds to be programmed by the external world. They absorb the limitations, fears, and doubts of society, friends, and family, and they unconsciously develop a mindset that keeps them stuck in mediocrity. The top 2% operate differently. They take control of their mental programming. They decide what thoughts to nurture and what beliefs to eliminate. They guard their mind like a fortress and refuse to let negativity dictate their actions. If you want to be among the 2%, you must first master your own mind. Your mind is a tool, but for most people, it becomes a prison. It traps them in self-doubt, fear, and hesitation. It convinces them that they are not ready, that they will fail, that they are not good enough. The mind has been conditioned for survival, not for success. The majority allow their thoughts to be dictated by their emotions, environment, and past experiences. They let distractions consume their focus and allow temporary setbacks to define their future. The 2% take a completely different approach. They understand that the mind can be trained just like a muscle. It can be strengthened, sharpened, and programmed to work for them rather than against them. Success starts in the mind before it ever materializes in reality. Every decision, every action, and every outcome in life is first created in the mind. If your mind is weak, your results will be weak. If your mind is strong, focused, and disciplined, you will find a way to win even in the face of adversity. The first step in training your mind is to develop an unshakable level of self-awareness. Most people are not even aware of their own thought patterns. They live on autopilot, reacting to life instead of consciously directing it. They let negative thoughts take root without questioning them, and over time, these thoughts become their reality. If you want to operate like the top 2%, you must become extremely conscious of your thoughts and beliefs. You must question every limitation, every doubt, and every fear that enters your mind. Where did this belief come from? Is it helping me or holding me back? What would a stronger, more capable version of me think in this situation? This level of self-awareness allows you to take control rather than being controlled. Once you develop self-awareness, the next step is to reprogram your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is responsible for 95% of your thoughts, emotions, and actions. It is shaped by repetition and deep emotional experiences. If you have spent years feeding your mind with doubt, fear, and hesitation, Those thought patterns have become automatic. If you want to succeed, you must consciously feed your mind with empowering thoughts. This is not about blind positivity or ignoring reality. It is about training your mind to focus on solutions rather than problems. The 2% constantly reinforce their beliefs through repetition. They consume books, listen to mentors, and expose themselves to thoughts that elevate their mindset. They train their brain to see opportunities where others see obstacles. If you want to change your reality, you must first change the stories you tell yourself. Training your mind like the top 2% requires mastering your focus. In today's world, most people allow their attention to be hijacked by distractions. They scroll endlessly on their phones, consume mindless content, and allow their energy to be scattered in 1,000 directions. Focus is one of the most valuable assets you have, and yet most people waste it. The 2% guard their focus like their life depends on it, because they understand that what they focus on grows. If you focus on problems, you will create more problems. If you focus on growth, learning, and execution, you will create momentum. You must discipline your mind to focus only on what truly matters. Cut out the noise, eliminate distractions, and train yourself to concentrate deeply on your goals. The more you train your focus, the sharper your mind becomes. Mental toughness is another key trait that separates the 2% from the rest. Weak minds give up when things get hard. They allow setbacks to break them, and they search for excuses instead of solutions. The 2% operate with a different mentality. They expect difficulty. They know that setbacks are part of the process, and they refuse to let temporary failure define their long-term success. They push forward when they feel tired, frustrated, or unmotivated. They understand that success is not about feeling good all the time, but about doing what needs to be done, no matter how they feel. If you want to train your mind like the top 2%, you must develop mental resilience. When you face challenges, ask yourself, what is this teaching me? How can I use this as fuel? What would the best version of myself do in this situation? By shifting your perspective, you turn obstacles into stepping stones. Discipline is the foundation of a powerful mind. The majority of people let their emotions dictate their actions. If they don't feel like working, they procrastinate. If they feel tired, they give up. The 2% operate on discipline, not feelings. They do what needs to be done, whether they feel like it or not. They train their minds to follow through, to stick to their commitments, and to execute with precision. They understand that motivation is fleeting, but discipline lasts a lifetime. You must train yourself to take action regardless of circumstances. Wake up early even when you don't feel like it. Push yourself beyond your comfort zone every day. Develop a habit of consistency and commitment. The more you do this, the stronger your mind becomes. One of the most powerful things you can do to train your mind is to challenge yourself daily. Most people seek comfort and avoid difficulty, but this weakens the mind. The 2% intentionally put themselves in uncomfortable situations to expand their mental capacity. They take cold showers, push themselves physically, and embrace challenges that force them to grow. They understand that growth comes from discomfort. If you never challenge yourself, you will never know your true potential. Seek discomfort every day. Do something that scares you. Push yourself to new limits. The more you do this, the more you rewire your brain for strength and resilience. Success is a battle that is won in the mind before it ever appears in reality. The top 2% do not allow their thoughts to control them. They control their thoughts. They decide what to focus on, what to believe, and how to respond to challenges. They refuse to let external circumstances dictate their mindset. They wake up every day with a clear purpose, an unshakable belief in themselves, and a relentless commitment to executing at the highest level. They do not wait for the perfect moment or ideal conditions. They act now. They train their minds to see possibilities where others see limitations. They condition themselves to push forward when others quit. They build a mindset so powerful that nothing can break them. If you want to be part of the 2%, you must take full control of your mental programming. You must eliminate weak thinking, destroy distractions, develop extreme focus, and embrace discipline as a way of life. This is not a one-time process. It is a lifelong commitment. Every day is an opportunity to strengthen your mind, to push beyond your limits, and to separate yourself from the 98% who live in excuses and regret. Train your mind relentlessly, guard your thoughts with discipline, and commit to mastering yourself. When you control your mind, you control your destiny. Chapter 2. Break free from the 98% mindset. The mindset of the 98% is a trap, a cage they've built for themselves, forged from fear, doubt, and complacency. It's not necessarily something they actively choose, but rather something they fall into over time, an accumulation of bad habits, poor choices, and a lack of understanding about what it truly takes to achieve greatness. Most people aren't born into this mindset. They are conditioned into it by their environment, their past experiences, and the constant barrage of messages that tell them they can't achieve more, they shouldn't expect more, and that they should be satisfied with what they have. This mindset isn't something that happens overnight. It's a slow erosion of potential, a steady stream of negative thoughts and limiting beliefs that build walls around their capabilities, preventing them from breaking free and reaching their true potential. If you want to break free from the 98% mindset, you have to completely shift the way you think about success, about your own abilities, and about the possibilities available to you. The 98% often settle for mediocrity because they don't believe they deserve anything more. They think success is for other people, not for them. They spend their lives comparing themselves to others and feeling as if they are falling short, never quite measuring up. This mindset is built on insecurity and fear, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. They tell themselves that they're not good enough, not smart enough, not capable enough to achieve what they truly want in life. Over time, this belief becomes ingrained in their subconscious. Every failure, every mistake, every setback further solidifies this belief, reinforcing the idea that they're destined for mediocrity. But this is all a lie that society, family, and even their own inner doubts have tricked them into believing. To break free from the 98% mindset, you must start by recognizing the lie you've been living. You must understand that your past failures do not define your future. Your mistakes do not determine your potential. You are not the sum of your past. You are a creation of infinite potential, capable of achieving far more than you've been led to believe. The first step in freeing yourself from this trap is to take full responsibility for your life. Most people in the 98% blame external circumstances for their lack of success. They blame their upbringing, their job, their relationships, or the economy for their struggles. They never look inward and take accountability for their own choices. But the truth is that your circumstances do not dictate your future. What matters is how you respond to those circumstances. The top 2% understand that their actions, their decisions, and their mindset are the only things they can control. They take full responsibility for their lives, and they don't waste time pointing fingers at anyone or anything else. This mindset shift is crucial to breaking free. When you take responsibility, you give yourself the power to change. You stop being a victim and start becoming the creator of your own life. Another powerful tool in breaking free from the 98% mindset is shifting your focus from what's wrong to what's possible. The 98% are obsessed with problems. They focus on what they don't have, what's not working, and what they can't do. This obsession with problems keeps them stuck in a loop of negativity and scarcity. The 2%, on the other hand, focus on solutions, possibilities, and opportunities. They understand that every problem is a chance to learn and grow, a chance to push past their limits and find a way forward. They don't waste time lamenting over what's not working. Instead, they ask themselves, how can I fix this? What can I learn from this? They focus on what they can control, and they take decisive action to move forward, no matter how small the steps may be. By shifting your focus from problems to possibilities, you unlock an entirely new way of thinking. You stop seeing obstacles as roadblocks and start seeing them as opportunities for growth and improvement. The world becomes a place of endless potential, and your mindset shifts from one of scarcity to one of abundance. Part of breaking free from the 98% mindset involves confronting your fear and pushing past it. Fear is the most powerful weapon the 98% have in keeping themselves stuck. They fear failure, rejection, and judgment. They fear what others will think if they pursue their dreams. They fear taking risks, stepping out of their comfort zone, and doing the hard work required to succeed. This fear paralyzes them, preventing them from taking action and moving forward. But fear is not something to be avoided. It's something to be embraced. The 2% understand that fear is not a signal to stop, but a signal to go. Fear means you are on the verge of growth. It means you are pushing yourself into uncharted territory, and that is where the magic happens. The more you fear something, the more it indicates that you are stretching your limits, stepping into your greatness. To break free from the 98% mindset, you must learn to see fear as a tool for growth, not a barrier to success. You must take bold action in spite of the fear. Do it anyway. That's how you build courage. That's how you break free from the chains that hold you back. In order to break free from the 98% mindset, you must also learn to be comfortable with discomfort. The 98% avoid discomfort at all costs. They seek comfort, ease, and instant gratification. They take the path of least resistance, which ultimately leads them to a life of mediocrity. The 2%, however, seek discomfort. They push themselves beyond their limits every single day. They know that growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. It happens when you stretch yourself, when you do things that scare you, when you challenge yourself to be better than you were yesterday. The more you embrace discomfort, the more resilient you become. You start to build a tolerance for the challenges that come your way. You begin to develop the mental toughness required to push through obstacles and keep moving forward, no matter how tough the journey becomes. A crucial part of breaking free from the 98% mindset is cultivating an unwavering belief in yourself. The 98% are plagued by self-doubt. They second-guess their decisions, question their abilities, and constantly wonder if they are capable of achieving their goals. This self-doubt paralyzes them and prevents them from taking action. The 2% operate with unshakable confidence. They know their worth, they trust their abilities, and they believe that they can figure things out no matter what challenges they face. They've developed this confidence through experience, through countless hours of hard work, and through the knowledge that they have overcome obstacles before and will continue to do so in the future. You must develop this same belief in yourself. You must trust that you are capable, that you have the resources and the resilience to overcome any challenge that comes your way. Confidence is not something you are born with, it's something you build through action. The more you act, the more you push yourself, the more you believe in yourself. The 2% never doubt their ability to succeed. They know that they will figure it out, because they've trained themselves to be relentless in the pursuit of their goals. The final step in breaking free from the 98% mindset is creating a new vision for your life. The 98% don't have a clear vision for their future. They live day to day, going through the motions, without a sense of purpose or direction. They let life happen to them, instead of taking control and actively shaping their future. The 2%, however, have a crystal clear vision of what they want to achieve. They know exactly where they are going, and they break that vision down into actionable steps. They don't wait for the perfect opportunity, they create their own. To break free from the 98% mindset, you must get clear about what you want in life. What is your vision? What are you working toward? Set goals that align with this vision and take daily action toward making it a reality. Create a life that excites you, a life that challenges you, and a life that makes you proud. When you have a vision, a purpose, and a clear plan, you are no longer drifting aimlessly through life. You are in the driver's seat, steering your life toward the success you desire. Breaking free from the 98% mindset is not an overnight process. It requires consistent effort, self-discipline, and a willingness to confront your fears, your doubts, and your comfort zone. But once you make the decision to break free, the possibilities become endless. You are no longer bound by the limiting beliefs that held you back. You are no longer playing small. You are creating the life you truly deserve, one where your potential is limitless and your success is inevitable. Choose to take control. Choose to break free from the 98% mindset. Choose to become the person you were always meant to be. Chapter 3. Rewrite your daily success formula. Every day, you have the chance to rewrite your success story. Your success isn't determined by luck or chance, it's determined by the choices you make daily. The formula for success isn't some abstract concept reserved for the few. It's accessible to everyone, but the key is that you have to rewrite your daily success formula. Every single day presents a new opportunity to mold your life and to take control of your future. The problem is that most people don't realize how much power they have to shape their destiny. They think success is something that happens to them, but in reality, it's something they create, day in and day out, with the small decisions they make. Most people operate on autopilot. They wake up, go through their morning routine, follow the same patterns of thought, make the same choices, and end up with the same results. They live their lives on repeat, doing what's easy, comfortable, and familiar. This is the exact opposite of success. Success doesn't come from doing the same thing day after day. It comes from doing something different, from rewriting your formula and implementing actions that lead to different results. This formula begins with how you start your day. Most people start their day in a rush, checking their phone, jumping into their to-do list, and scrambling to catch up. But the most successful individuals understand that how you begin your day will set the tone for everything that follows. The first hour of your day is sacred. It's the most important time because it's when your mindset is most malleable. If you wake up and immediately dive into work, chaos, or distractions, you've already set yourself up for failure. You've allowed your external environment to dictate your internal state. Instead, begin your day by focusing on yourself first. Start with gratitude. Reflect on what you're thankful for. This might seem simple, but it's profound. Gratitude shifts your energy, raises your vibration, and primes your mind for success. It rewires your brain to focus on abundance instead of lack, opportunities instead of obstacles, and growth instead of failure. Take 5 minutes in the morning to simply breathe, appreciate the gift of another day, and set the intention to make it count. Next, set a clear intention for the day. Without intention, you're wandering aimlessly through life, reacting to whatever comes your way, instead of proactively shaping your day to align with your goals. Set clear, actionable goals for your day, no matter how small they may seem. The more specific your intentions, the more focused your actions will be. When you write down your goals, or simply visualize them in your mind, you create a roadmap for your day. You know exactly what you need to do, and you can filter out distractions. Your daily success formula begins with clarity. A lack of clarity is what keeps so many people stuck in mediocrity. They're unsure of what they want, and as a result, they don't know where to focus their energy. But when you set clear goals, you channel all of your efforts in the right direction. You're no longer wasting time and energy on things that don't matter. Following the right morning routine is one of the most effective ways to rewrite your daily success formula. The first hour of the day is the time to invest in yourself. Start with something energizing. Exercise in some way, whether it's yoga, running, or even a simple walk. Physical activity is not only good for your body, but it also releases endorphins that prime your mind for the challenges ahead. Movement enhances mental clarity, focus, and creativity. It shifts your energy from sluggishness to alertness. This simple action builds momentum for the rest of the day, creating a feeling of accomplishment right from the start. While physical movement is essential, mental preparation is equally important. Spend time developing your mindset. This could mean meditating, reading, journaling, or listening to something motivational. Successful people feed their minds with positive input first thing in the morning. You want to surround yourself with messages that align with your goals, messages that inspire growth, resilience, and discipline. You can't afford to start your day with negativity or mindless distractions. Make sure that the content you consume first thing in the morning strengthens your belief in your ability to succeed. Once you've set your intention for the day and done the internal work to prepare your mind and body, it's time to take action. Action is the key to unlocking your success. Too many people talk about what they want to do without actually doing it. They wait for the perfect moment or the right circumstances. But success doesn't come from waiting, it comes from doing. The most successful people understand that every action, no matter how small, compounds over time. It's the small, consistent actions taken every day that create massive results. Rewriting your daily success formula involves taking immediate focused action toward your goals. No matter how daunting the task, take the first step. Momentum is everything. Once you take that first action, the next one becomes easier, and the one after that becomes easier still. This is how you build momentum in your life. One small courageous step leads to another, and before long, you're moving at a pace that you never thought possible. A vital aspect of rewriting your daily success formula is how you manage your time. Successful people are masters of time management because they understand the value of every minute. They don't waste time on meaningless activities, and they don't let others dictate their schedule. If you want to be successful, you have to take control of your time. This doesn't mean filling every moment of your day with work. It means prioritizing your time around the activities that will move you closer to your goals. Time blocking is a powerful tool to help you stay focused and intentional. By scheduling specific times for specific tasks, you eliminate the chance for distractions and ensure that your time is being spent on what matters most. While taking action is crucial, it's equally important to monitor your progress throughout the day. At regular intervals, stop and assess what you've done. Have you made progress toward your goals? Have you stayed focused, or did distractions pull you off course? This doesn't mean obsessing over every little detail, but rather checking in with yourself to make sure you're on the right track. Adjust your course of action as needed and stay flexible. The most successful people are adaptable. They know that things don't always go as planned, but they don't let setbacks derail them. Instead, they recalibrate and keep going. At the end of the day, take time to reflect. Reflect on what went well, what you accomplished, and where you could improve. This daily reflection is a powerful tool for growth because it allows you to identify patterns in your behavior and adjust accordingly. What did you do right? What could you have done differently? Reflecting on your day helps you to stay accountable to yourself and your goals, and it gives you the opportunity to course correct before the day is over. Most importantly, remember that success isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Rewriting your daily success formula doesn't mean you will be flawless every day. There will be days when you slip up, when things don't go according to plan, and when you feel like giving up. But it's those days when you choose to keep moving forward that truly matter. The most successful people are not the ones who never fail, they're the ones who keep going despite their failures. They embrace the journey, knowing that each step, no matter how small, is a step closer to their goals. The key to rewriting your daily success formula is consistency. It's not about having one perfect day or one perfect week. It's about committing to the process every single day, even when you don't feel like it. The small daily actions you take will compound over time and lead to extraordinary results. You have the power to rewrite your formula for success, but it requires effort, discipline, and commitment. When you show up for yourself every day, when you take consistent action, when you embrace the challenges and opportunities that come your way, you create a life that is aligned with your dreams and aspirations. And in doing so, you'll create a success story that is uniquely yours. Chapter 4. Outwork and outthink the ordinary. The path to extraordinary success isn't marked by the usual routes that most people take. The world is full of people who want things to be easy. They want shortcuts. They want instant results without putting in the necessary work. But success, true, lasting success, is never achieved through shortcuts or by following the crowd. It's earned by those who choose to outwork and outthink the ordinary. Ordinary people follow routines that keep them in the comfort zone, never pushing themselves beyond what's familiar. But if you want extraordinary results, you need to push your limits. You need to embrace discomfort. You need to outwork everyone around you. There's a misconception that success comes easily for the few who are lucky or born with some special talent. This is far from the truth. Success is not about being lucky. It's about being willing to outwork and outthink everyone else. Think about it. In almost every area of life, whether it's business, fitness, or creativity, the top performers aren't just talented, they are relentless. They show up every day, without exception. They put in the effort when no one else is watching. They go the extra mile. They work when others are taking breaks. They study when others are resting. The people who achieve greatness are not simply working harder, they are working smarter. They understand that success is about being efficient, focused, and strategic, not just putting in more hours. Outworking and outthinking the ordinary begins with mindset. Ordinary people believe that they can only do what is required. They meet the bare minimum expectations and feel content. Extraordinary people, on the other hand, know that their results are determined by their commitment to excellence. They don't just settle for doing what's expected. They push the envelope, constantly seeking to do more, to go deeper, and to get better. This means taking responsibility for every part of your journey. Instead of blaming external circumstances or waiting for the right opportunities to come your way, you take control of your life. You create your own opportunities through consistent action and relentless dedication. The first step to outworking and outthinking the ordinary is committing to a level of excellence that most people are unwilling to reach. Excellence requires going beyond what is expected, even when no one is watching. It's about consistently performing at a level that sets you apart from the average person. Ordinary people do the bare minimum because that's all that's required to meet expectations. But extraordinary people go above and beyond, not because they're asked to, but because they are determined to be the best. To outwork the ordinary, you need to first master your time. Time is the one resource you can never get back. Ordinary people waste it, letting hours slip away on distractions, procrastination, and aimless activities. They wait for motivation to strike, or for the perfect moment to start. Extraordinary people understand that time is precious, so they don't waste a second. They use their time wisely, making sure that every hour counts toward their goals. One way to ensure you're using your time effectively is by creating a daily schedule or time blocking. By setting aside dedicated time for work, personal growth, and rest, you eliminate the possibility of wasting time on things that don't move you forward. Mastering time means also learning how to say no to things that don't align with your goals. Ordinary people say yes to everything: social events, distractions, meaningless activities. But extraordinary people understand the power of focus. They know that if they want to achieve greatness, they must say no to things that don't contribute to their success. Saying no allows them to preserve their time and energy for what truly matters. Outworking the ordinary also means being willing to work harder and longer than others. But this doesn't mean burning yourself out. It's about being strategic with your energy. Extraordinary people know when to push themselves and when to rest. They recognize the importance of balance. They understand that hard work is about consistency, not intensity. You can't work hard for a few days and expect overnight success. You have to show up every single day, without fail, giving your best effort. But this requires mental toughness. There will be days when you're tired, when you don't feel like doing the work. But the difference between ordinary people and extraordinary people is that extraordinary people keep going, even when it's hard. They don't wait for motivation. They create their own motivation through discipline. While outworking the ordinary is essential, outthinking the ordinary is equally important. Success is not just about doing more, it's about doing things the right way. It's about thinking strategically, looking for opportunities where others see obstacles, and solving problems in innovative ways. Ordinary people follow the same paths that have been paved for them. They do what they've always done because it's familiar and comfortable. But extraordinary people think outside the box. They challenge the status quo and look for new ways to approach challenges. They constantly seek ways to improve and innovate. To outthink the ordinary, you must cultivate a mindset of creativity and curiosity. Instead of accepting things as they are, ask yourself, how can I improve this? What's a better way to do this? What can I do differently to get better results? Ordinary people rarely ask these questions. They simply do what they're told and don't question the process. Extraordinary people, however, are always thinking critically. They don't just go with the flow, they're looking for ways to change the flow. A powerful way to outthink the ordinary is to surround yourself with the right people. Ordinary people surround themselves with other ordinary people, people who think and act the same way they do. They limit their perspectives by staying in their comfort zone. Extraordinary people, however, surround themselves with people who challenge their thinking. They seek out mentors, colleagues, and friends who push them to think bigger, act bolder, and break free from limiting beliefs. They understand that growth comes from being exposed to new ideas, different perspectives, and higher standards. One of the greatest benefits of outworking and outthinking the ordinary is that it creates an advantage in a competitive world. In any field, there is always competition. Whether you're an entrepreneur, an athlete, or a creative professional, there will always be someone vying for the same opportunities, the same clients, or the same recognition. To rise above the competition, you need to differentiate yourself. You do this by being willing to outwork and outthink the rest of the pack. While others are resting, you're pushing forward. While others are doing what they've always done, you're innovating. The more you commit to excellence and innovation, the more you separate yourself from the crowd. And the more you outwork and outthink others, the more likely you are to reach the top. Outworking and outthinking. The ordinary doesn't just benefit you, it benefits everyone around you. When you push yourself to be better, you raise the standards for those around you. You inspire others to elevate their own performance. Your commitment to excellence becomes a ripple effect, encouraging others to think bigger, work harder, and push past their limitations. However, it's important to remember that outworking and outthinking the ordinary doesn't guarantee that success will come instantly. Success takes time. It requires patience, persistence, and perseverance. There will be setbacks along the way. There will be moments of doubt and frustration, but the most successful people aren't the ones who never face obstacles. They're the ones who keep going despite the obstacles. They keep working, keep thinking, and keep improving until they reach their goals. You are capable of outworking and outthinking the ordinary. You have everything you need to rise above the rest and achieve greatness. It requires discipline, focus, and an unwavering commitment to your goals. You must be willing to put in the hard work that others won't. You must be willing to think in ways that others can't. And above all, you must never stop pushing yourself to be better. When you outwork and outthink the ordinary, you create your own path to success, one that is uniquely yours, one that is unstoppable. Success isn't given to you, it's earned through relentless effort, smart thinking, and an unshakable belief in your ability to create extraordinary results. Chapter 5. Detach from mediocre habits fast. The road to extraordinary success requires breaking free from the chains of mediocrity. Mediocre habits hold you back from reaching your fullest potential. These habits are the ones that allow you to settle, to remain comfortable, and to stop pushing yourself when the going gets tough. They're the habits that keep you stuck in the same place, day after day, while others around you rise to new heights. The good news, you have the power to detach from them. You have the power to break free from the mediocrity that holds you back. But it requires courage. It requires discipline. It requires an unrelenting desire to change. Mediocre habits are like weight on your shoulders, slowing you down and preventing you from reaching the level of success you're capable of. They are the small, seemingly insignificant choices you make each day that compound over time to create a life that's not fulfilling. It's not just about the big decisions you make, it's about the daily habits that shape who you are. Every day you make decisions, whether consciously or unconsciously, that either propel you forward or keep you stagnant. These decisions, these habits, are what define your life. If you want to achieve greatness, you must identify and eliminate those mediocre habits quickly. Mediocrity has a way of sneaking into your life. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't make a big splash. It creeps in slowly, like a drip of water wearing down a stone over time. It's the extra hour of sleep you take when you know you should be working. It's the day you skip your workout because it feels easier to stay home. It's the procrastination that leaves your tasks unfinished and your goals unachieved. Mediocre habits are what hold you back from becoming the best version of yourself. And it's time to break free from them. The first step to detaching from these habits is recognizing them for what they are. You have to take a hard look at your life and be brutally honest with yourself. Where are you settling? Where are you choosing comfort over growth? What are the habits that are keeping you stuck in a cycle of mediocrity? It can be difficult to face these truths because they often require you to confront the things that are holding you back: fear, insecurity, laziness. But only by confronting these habits can you begin to change them. One of the most powerful ways to break free from mediocre habits is by setting a higher standard for yourself. Ordinary people set low standards because they don't believe they're capable of more. They think success is for other people, not for them. But extraordinary people don't wait for permission to set high standards. They create them for themselves. When you set a high standard for yourself, you're telling the world, and more importantly, yourself, that you refuse to settle. You refuse to be mediocre. You're going to demand excellence from yourself, no matter how difficult or uncomfortable it may be. A higher standard means pushing yourself past what's easy. It means choosing discipline over comfort, growth over stagnation, progress over procrastination. It means waking up every day with a sense of purpose and a determination to improve. It's about understanding that your daily habits are the building blocks of your future. If you want to achieve extraordinary success, you must demand extraordinary effort. One of the most effective ways to detach from mediocre habits is by replacing them with positive, productive habits. This doesn't happen overnight. It requires consistency and patience. But once you start to replace bad habits with good ones, you'll see incredible transformation in your life. For example, instead of scrolling aimlessly through social media in the morning, use that time to plan your day, read a book, or engage in some form of self-development. Instead of hitting the snooze button and wasting time in bed, get up and start your day with intention. When you start your day with purpose, you set the tone for the rest of it. The key is to make small changes each day that add up to big results over time. Another powerful way to detach from mediocre habits is by making your environment work for you. Our environment has a huge influence on our behavior. If you're constantly surrounded by distractions or negative influences, it's much harder to break free from mediocrity. But if you create an environment that supports your goals and encourages positive habits, you'll find it much easier to succeed. This means surrounding yourself with people who inspire you, eliminating distractions, and creating a space that promotes focus and productivity. Whether it's your workspace, your home, or the people you spend time with, your environment plays a crucial role in shaping your success. You also need to change your mindset if you want to break free from mediocrity. The way you think shapes the way you act. If you believe that you're stuck in mediocrity and that nothing will change, then nothing will. But if you change your mindset and believe that you have the power to improve, to grow, and to become the best version of yourself, then your actions will align with that belief. Start thinking like a winner. Start thinking like someone who is destined for greatness. Your thoughts will drive your actions, and your actions will create the results you want. Another critical step in detaching from mediocre habits is learning how to embrace discomfort. Mediocre people avoid discomfort at all costs. They seek out the easy way, the path of least resistance. But extraordinary people know that growth happens in the discomfort zone. If you want to rise above mediocrity, you have to embrace the challenges that come with stepping outside your comfort zone. This means pushing yourself to take risks, to try new things, and to fail forward. Every time you face discomfort and push through it, you become stronger, more resilient, and more capable of achieving your goals. One of the biggest challenges in breaking free from mediocre habits is the fear of failure. Many people stay stuck in mediocrity because they're afraid to fail. But failure is not something to be feared, it's something to be embraced. Failure is simply a stepping stone on the path to success. It's through failure that we learn, grow, and improve. When you shift your perspective on failure and start seeing it as an opportunity for growth, you'll find that it no longer holds you back. Instead, it will propel you forward. The key to breaking free from mediocrity is commitment. You have to commit to the process of change. You have to commit to breaking free from the habits that are holding you back. And you have to commit to being relentless in your pursuit of excellence. Mediocre habits will always be there, trying to pull you back to where you were. But if you stay focused on your goals and keep pushing forward, you'll eventually break free. Success is not something that just happens. It's not a matter of luck or chance. It's something that is earned through hard work, discipline, and the ability to detach from the habits that hold you back. The moment you decide to let go of mediocrity is the moment your life begins to change. Your future is in your hands. You have the power to break free from the chains of mediocrity and create the life you deserve. All it takes is the willingness to make the decision to change, to take action, and to commit to your own growth. The road to greatness is not easy, but it's worth it. And it starts with detaching from the mediocre habits that have kept you stuck for far too long. Chapter 6. Develop the relentless execution habit. Execution is the bridge between dreams and reality. Without it, no matter how powerful your vision, no matter how extraordinary your ideas, they'll remain nothing more than empty hopes. What separates the successful from the unsuccessful isn't talent or luck, it's execution. The ability to relentlessly act on your goals, regardless of obstacles, challenges, or doubts, is what makes all the difference. Developing a habit of relentless execution will transform you from a dreamer into a doer. It will push you past procrastination, hesitation, and fear, and into a state of unstoppable progress. Execution is not about making a single grand effort. It's about doing the work, day in and day out, with consistency and intensity. It's easy to get excited at the beginning of a new project. The adrenaline of starting something fresh can make you feel unstoppable. But what distinguishes those who succeed from those who falter is the ability to maintain that energy, to stay focused, and to keep executing even when the excitement fades. Relentless execution isn't about working harder or smarter in bursts. It's about developing a mindset that keeps you moving forward, even when the path ahead feels unclear or difficult. The first step to building a relentless execution habit is to understand that success isn't just about the big moments. It's about the small, consistent actions that compound over time. Each day is an opportunity to get closer to your goal. If you want to build this habit, you need to commit to doing the work every single day, no matter how insignificant the task may seem at the time. Whether it's writing a few words, making a phone call, or organizing your workspace, every action you take brings you one step closer to your goal. Relentless execution is a choice you make every day. It's about choosing to take action when it's easier to put things off. It's about showing up when you don't feel like it. It's about pushing through when you're tired, frustrated, or unsure. The people who succeed aren't the ones who have it all figured out. They're the ones who refuse to stop, who keep moving forward in spite of the obstacles. Relentless execution is not glamorous. It's not always fun, but it's the foundation of success. The second key to building a habit of relentless execution is to embrace discipline. Discipline is the muscle that allows you to execute when motivation fades. Motivation is fleeting, It comes and goes based on your emotions, your energy levels, and external factors. But discipline is what keeps you going even when you don't feel motivated. Developing discipline means creating routines that prioritize your goals and make execution non-negotiable. It means setting daily targets and holding yourself accountable to them, regardless of how you feel. When you can rely on discipline to carry you through the hard days, your execution will become consistent, regardless of your emotional state. One way to cultivate discipline is by making your goals non-negotiable. This means creating a structure for your life that leaves no room for excuses. If you decide you're going to work on your goal every morning for 30 minutes, you do it, no matter what. You don't let distractions, fatigue, or procrastination get in the way. You make it a rule in your life that is not up for debate. When you make your commitments to yourself non-negotiable, you create a sense of urgency that drives you to take action. Another powerful way to strengthen your execution habit is by breaking your goals down into smaller, manageable tasks. Often, the thought of a big goal can feel overwhelming. You may look at the work ahead and feel paralyzed by the magnitude of it all. But the key to relentless execution is focusing on the next step, not the entire journey. Breaking your goal down into smaller tasks makes it feel more achievable and allows you to take consistent action without becoming overwhelmed. Instead of looking at a mountain of work, focus on the next step, and then the next, and then the next. Each small step you take builds momentum, and before you know it, you've moved closer to your goal. Another powerful technique for executing relentlessly is tracking your progress. When you see the results of your work, it motivates you to keep going. Progress is a powerful driver. It makes the effort feel worthwhile, whether you're crossing items off your to-do list or celebrating small wins along the way. Tracking progress keeps you focused and reminds you that the work is paying off. This can be as simple as writing down your daily tasks and marking them off as you complete them, or keeping a journal of your achievements. Tracking progress also allows you to reflect on what's working and where you may need to adjust your approach. It helps you stay accountable to your goals, and it keeps you moving forward. As you develop the habit of relentless execution, you'll also need to learn how to handle setbacks. Setbacks are a natural part of any journey, but they are often what derail people from achieving their goals. It's easy to get discouraged when things don't go as planned. You may encounter roadblocks, face unexpected challenges, or even experience failure. But relentless execution is about continuing to move forward, even when things go wrong. It's about learning from your setbacks, adjusting your approach, and pushing through. The successful people in the world are not the ones who never fail. They're the ones who fail, learn from it, and keep going. Another important element of relentless execution is prioritization. Not all tasks are created equal. If you want to execute relentlessly, you need to identify the tasks that will move you closer to your goal and focus your energy on them. It's easy to get caught up in busy work, responding to emails, attending meetings, checking social media, but if those tasks don't align with your goals, they're just distractions. Relentless execution means saying no to things that don't serve your purpose and saying yes to the things that do. Focus on high-impact tasks that push you forward and eliminate or delegate the rest. The more you prioritize, the more effective your execution will be. You also need to develop the ability to overcome resistance. Resistance is a force that tries to stop you from taking action. It manifests in many forms: fear, doubt, procrastination, perfectionism, and distractions. The key to relentless execution is learning how to recognize resistance and push through it. When you feel resistance, that's often the moment you need to act the most. Take small steps, even if they feel uncomfortable, and build momentum. The more you push through resistance, the easier it becomes to continue executing. Eventually, you'll develop the mental toughness to face resistance head-on and keep moving forward. A crucial part of building a relentless execution habit is understanding the power of consistency. The most successful people are those who execute on their goals every day, without exception. It's not about working in short bursts of intensity, it's about making execution a non-negotiable part of your routine. When you're consistent, even the smallest actions compound over time to produce massive results. It's like planting seeds each day and nurturing them until they grow into something extraordinary. Consistency is the secret weapon of relentless execution. Ultimately, the key to developing a relentless execution habit is to take ownership of your success. You are responsible for your results. No one else can execute on your behalf. No one else can do the work for you. If you want to achieve extraordinary success, you have to take full responsibility for your actions and commit to executing relentlessly. Don't wait for the perfect time, the perfect conditions, or the perfect plan. Just start and keep moving forward, one step at a time. You have the power to achieve your goals, but it all starts with the decision to take relentless action. Building a habit of relentless execution will not only help you achieve your goals, it will change your entire life. It will transform you into someone who consistently takes action, overcomes obstacles, and achieves success. It will turn you from a dreamer into a doer, from someone who talks about success to someone who makes it happen. Every day is an opportunity to build this habit. Don't wait for motivation to strike. Build discipline, break your goals into manageable tasks, track your progress, and execute relentlessly. This is the path to success, and it's available to you right now. Chapter 7. Turn setbacks into massive comebacks. Setbacks are an inevitable part of life, but they don't have to be the end of your journey. They can be the beginning of something far greater than you could have imagined. A setback is not a sign of defeat. It's an opportunity in disguise. It's a chance to learn, grow, and come back stronger than ever. The most successful people in the world are not those who avoid setbacks. They're the ones who know how to turn them into massive comebacks. Every great achievement, every success story you hear has a common thread: resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back, to keep moving forward, and to turn adversity into advantage. It's not about never facing setbacks. It's about how you respond to them that defines your future. Your setbacks are not there to break you. They are there to shape you, to prepare you for the greatness that lies ahead. The first step in turning setbacks into comebacks is reframing the way you see them. Too often, people view setbacks as failures, as signs that they aren't cut out for success. This perspective can be paralyzing. If you allow yourself to see a setback as a failure, you may never recover from it. But what if you could see setbacks as stepping stones instead? What if you understood that every setback is just a part of the process, a necessary challenge on the road to success? By shifting your mindset and viewing setbacks as opportunities for growth, you free yourself from the weight of disappointment and allow yourself to move forward with renewed purpose. When a setback happens, don't fall into the trap of asking, "Why me?" Instead, ask yourself, "What can I learn from this?" This simple shift in perspective can change everything. Instead of focusing on the injustice of the situation, focus on what it's teaching you. Every setback has a lesson embedded within it. It may teach you about your weaknesses, about what needs to change, or about what you truly want. Embrace the lesson and use it to fuel your growth. But understanding the lesson isn't enough. Turning a setback into a comeback requires action. It's easy to get caught up in the emotional aftermath of a setback, feeling sorry for yourself, ruminating on what went wrong, or doubting your ability to succeed. These are all natural responses, but they won't move you forward. What moves you forward is taking action. It's about using the energy from the setback to propel you toward a better, more determined version of yourself. This is where resilience comes in. It's not about being immune to setbacks or challenges. It's about choosing to keep moving, even when things aren't going your way. One of the most powerful tools for turning setbacks into comebacks is persistence. Success is not a straight line. It's full of twists, turns, and detours. The key to overcoming setbacks is to keep going, even when it feels like the world is against you. Persistence means continuing to take action, even when you don't see immediate results, even when the odds seem stacked against you. It's about understanding that success is a marathon, not a sprint. Setbacks may slow you down, but they don't have to stop you. When you persist in the face of adversity, you prove to yourself and the world that you're committed to your success, no matter what. Persistence is also about finding new strategies when the old ones don't work. If your original plan isn't yielding the results you want, it's time to adapt. Don't be afraid to try a different approach, to pivot, or to rethink your strategy. Being persistent doesn't mean blindly following a path that's not working. It means staying committed to the end goal, but being flexible in how you get there. If something isn't working, it's not a failure. It's a signal to try a different approach. Success isn't about perfection. It's about perseverance and adaptability. Another crucial element in turning setbacks into comebacks is maintaining your belief in yourself. It's easy to lose confidence after a setback, especially if it's a major one. Doubt creeps in, and it can be tempting to give up. But the most successful people are the ones who refuse to let setbacks define them. They continue to believe in their ability to succeed, even in the face of failure. Self-belief is the foundation of resilience. If you don't believe in your ability to overcome challenges, you won't have the strength to keep going. But if you can maintain a deep, unwavering belief in yourself, setbacks become just temporary obstacles on the path to success. Belief is also contagious. When you believe in yourself, others will begin to believe in you too. People are drawn to those who exude confidence, who remain determined and focused, even when things aren't going well. Your belief in yourself can inspire others to stay strong and keep going, creating a powerful support network around you. A powerful strategy for maintaining your belief in yourself is visualization. Visualize yourself succeeding, overcoming obstacles, and achieving your goals. See yourself on the other side of the setback, stronger and more determined than ever. Visualization helps you connect with the feeling of success before it even happens, and it strengthens your belief in the possibility of a comeback. The mind is incredibly powerful, and what you consistently visualize you move toward. So focus on the comeback you want, not the setback you've experienced. Another key to turning setbacks into comebacks is leveraging the power of your environment. Your surroundings, the people you interact with, and the energy you're exposed to can have a profound impact on your ability to overcome setbacks. Surround yourself with people who support your goals and believe in your potential. Seek out mentors, coaches, or friends who can offer guidance and encouragement when you need it most. The right environment can give you the strength to keep moving forward when things seem tough. Likewise, cultivate an environment within yourself that's conducive to growth. Stay positive even when things aren't going your way. Don't allow negative self-talk to take hold. Challenge yourself to stay focused on your goals and keep a growth-oriented mindset. Setbacks are not the end, they are the beginning of your growth. Every challenge is an opportunity to become stronger, more resilient, and more capable of achieving your dreams. Resilience is also about recovering quickly. When setbacks happen, it's easy to become consumed by them. You can spiral into negativity, frustration, or even self-pity. But the faster you can recover and get back on track, the faster you'll turn that setback into a massive comeback. Recovery doesn't mean ignoring your feelings or pretending the setback didn't affect you. It means acknowledging the situation, learning from it, and then moving forward. Don't dwell on the past, focus on the present moment and the actions you can take right now to get back on track. One of the most effective ways to recover quickly from a setback is to keep your vision clear. When you're laser focused on your goals, setbacks become much easier to handle. Your vision gives you something to strive for, even when the road ahead feels difficult. When you know exactly where you're headed, the obstacles in your path don't seem as daunting. Keep your vision in front of you and let it drive you forward, no matter what setbacks come your way. Turning setbacks into comebacks is not about avoiding failure, it's about learning to embrace it. Failure is not the opposite of success, it's a part of the process. Every successful person has experienced failure, rejection, and setback, but they didn't let those moments define them. They used them as fuel to push harder, to learn more, and to come back stronger. So when you face setbacks, don't see them as the end of your journey. See them as the beginning of your transformation. Embrace the challenges, learn from them, and come back even more powerful than before. The bigger the setback, the greater the comeback. It's not about how many times you fall, it's about how many times you get back up. And each time you rise, you'll be stronger than the last. Chapter 8. Stop living like the average majority. To live a life that stands out, you must first acknowledge that the average majority are not living their best lives. They are existing in the comfort zone, following the paths of least resistance and settling for mediocrity. But you don't have to follow that same path. You have the power to break free from the patterns that bind most people and create a life that exceeds anything they ever dreamed of. To stop living like the average majority, you need to make a decision to change your mindset, habits, and focus. Living like the average majority is about drifting along with the flow, following the expectations of society, and letting life happen to you. This mindset limits potential and stifles growth. The truth is, there's nothing inherently special about the way most people live their lives. The average majority is comfortable in their mediocrity, but that doesn't mean you have to be. Mediocrity is an illusion. People are not average by nature. They settle into routines and patterns that are easy to follow, but these don't lead to greatness. It's a lie that says comfort is the goal when in fact, discomfort and struggle are often the best teachers. The difference between the average majority and the exceptional few is that the exceptional few refuse to settle. They refuse to let their lives be defined by what's comfortable or conventional. They understand that in order to achieve extraordinary results, they must think and act differently from the majority. They know that the path to greatness is one of self-discipline, focus, and constant growth. If you want to stop living like the average majority, you must change your mindset and commit to a higher standard of living. You must stop thinking like everyone else and start thinking like the person you want to become. One of the most important steps to breaking away from the average is to stop comparing yourself to others. The majority of people spend their lives measuring their worth against the success or failure of those around them. But this is a trap. Comparing yourself to others only holds you back. It creates unnecessary pressure, self-doubt, and often discouragement. When you constantly compare yourself to others, you fail to recognize your own unique strengths and potential. Instead of focusing on what everyone else is doing, focus on your own journey. Measure your success by your own progress, not by the accomplishments of others. This shift in focus will allow you to develop a healthier, more empowering mindset. You'll start to value your own growth and understand that your journey is uniquely yours. Stop looking to the average majority for validation. They don't set the standard for your life. Only you can define your path and decide how high you want to aim. Next, stop living for the approval of others. The average majority spends so much of their time seeking validation from those around them, whether it's family, friends, or society at large. But living for the approval of others will keep you locked in a cycle of mediocrity. You'll never reach your full potential if you're constantly trying to meet the expectations of people who are also living at an average level. When you live for others' approval, you'll sacrifice your own dreams, desires, and ambitions just to fit into their mold. But the truth is, the people who are living extraordinary lives are not concerned with others' opinions. They are too busy creating their own success. Living for yourself is the first step toward breaking free from the trap of average. When you stop seeking approval, you free yourself from the limitations of society's expectations. You allow yourself to pursue what truly matters to you, not what others think you should be doing. This gives you the freedom to create your own definition of success and follow it relentlessly, without being weighed down by the opinions of others. To break free from the average majority, you must also commit to developing uncommon habits. The majority follows the same routines day after day, without ever questioning whether these habits are serving their goals. The problem with this is that average habits lead to average results. If you want extraordinary results, you need to break free from the ordinary habits that hold most people back. Commit to waking up earlier, working harder, and thinking smarter. Commit to learning new skills and taking risks that the average majority wouldn't dare to take. Choose to focus on your personal development and invest in yourself like no one else will. Extraordinary people are not born. They are made through their habits. They cultivate their minds, bodies, and relationships with intention. They refuse to settle for anything less than their best, and they are willing to do the hard work necessary to reach their goals. In every area of life, whether it's fitness, finances, or relationships, they are committed to building strong, consistent habits that will propel them toward their dreams. You must do the same if you want to separate yourself from the average. Another key to stepping out of the average majority is learning to embrace discomfort. Most people avoid discomfort at all costs. They seek out comfort, security, and ease, never venturing outside their comfort zones. But if you want to be different, you must learn to embrace discomfort. Growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. In fact, the more uncomfortable you are, the more you're likely to grow. Extraordinary success requires pushing through fear, uncertainty, and self-doubt. It requires taking risks and stepping into the unknown, even when the path is unclear. The average majority avoids discomfort, but the exceptional few seek it out because they know it's the only way to break through their limits and achieve the impossible. You must be willing to challenge yourself constantly. You must push yourself to take actions that feel uncomfortable at first, but will ultimately help you grow. Whether it's taking on a new challenge at work, starting a new fitness routine, or taking a leap of faith in your personal life, discomfort is the breeding ground for progress. When you stop avoiding discomfort, you unlock the door to unlimited potential. To stop living like the average majority, you must also learn to value time more than anything else. Time is the most precious resource you have, and yet most people squander it. The average majority wastes time on distractions, procrastination, and mindless entertainment. But extraordinary people understand the value of time. They use every minute intentionally, knowing that time is the one resource they can never get back. They prioritize their goals, and they structure their days to ensure they are moving closer to their dreams every single day. Time management is not about doing more, it's about doing what matters most. It's about using your time wisely and making sure that everything you do serves your bigger purpose. If you want to stop living like the average majority, you must start treating your time with the respect it deserves. Stop wasting it on things that don't matter. Every moment is an opportunity to move closer to your goals, so make every moment count. The average person spends hours scrolling through social media or watching TV, but the extraordinary person uses their time to invest in themselves, to learn, to grow, and to move toward their dreams. Finally, to stop living like the average majority, you must commit to your own success, regardless of the obstacles. The average majority gives up at the first sign of difficulty. They quit when the going gets tough, and they make excuses when things don't go their way. But the extraordinary person is different. They persist through adversity. They face challenges head-on and use them as fuel to keep moving forward. They understand that success is a journey, not a destination, and they are willing to fight for their dreams, no matter how long it takes. If you are committed to living an exceptional life, you must be willing to do whatever it takes to make it happen. You will face setbacks, failures, and obstacles along the way, but it's how you respond to them that determines your success. The extraordinary person doesn't let challenges stop them, they use them to fuel their progress. They keep their eyes on the prize and never let go of their vision, no matter how hard the road becomes. To stop living like the average majority, you must become extraordinary in every aspect of your life. You must choose a different path, embrace discomfort, develop powerful habits, and prioritize your time. And most importantly, you must commit to your own success, regardless of the obstacles that may arise. When you make these decisions, you will begin to separate yourself from the pack, and you'll start living a life that others can only dream of. It's time to stop settling for average and start living the exceptional life you were always meant to live. Chapter 9. Think, move, and act like the 2%. The difference between the 2% of high achievers and the other 98% is not in their circumstances, but in their mindset, decisions, and actions. The 2% think differently, move differently, and act with intention, purpose, and confidence. Their success doesn't come from luck or privilege, it comes from a relentless pursuit of their goals, a refusal to accept mediocrity, and an unwavering commitment to personal growth. If you want to separate yourself from the masses and start living like the 2%, you need to transform the way you think, move, and act. These high achievers are not bound by the same limitations that hold most people back. They have developed habits and beliefs that empower them to accomplish things most people only dream of. And while it might seem like their success is out of reach, the truth is, you can join them. You can adopt the mindset and behaviors that make the 2% successful. It's all about shifting your focus, your effort, and your actions. The first step in thinking like the 2% is to adopt a mindset of abundance and possibility. The 98% live in a world of limitations where they believe resources are scarce, opportunities are few, and success is reserved for the lucky few. But the 2% see the world differently. They understand that there is no limit to what can be achieved. They recognize that opportunities are everywhere, and they have the ability to create their own future. They believe that there is always a way to succeed, no matter how challenging the path may seem. This mindset of abundance and possibility is the foundation for their success. When you believe there are endless opportunities available to you, you open yourself up to new possibilities. You stop limiting yourself and start exploring all the ways you can create the life you desire. Thinking like the 2% also means having a deep sense of self-belief. High achievers are unwavering in their confidence and trust in their own abilities. They do not let fear, doubt, or failure dictate their decisions. Instead, they take calculated risks and trust themselves to overcome obstacles. They understand that failure is a part of the process, not the end. Failure is simply a lesson, a stepping stone on the way to success. They don't let setbacks deter them, they use them as fuel to keep going. When you think like the 2%, you stop seeing yourself as just another person trying to make it. You start seeing yourself as someone capable of achieving extraordinary things. You begin to trust your intuition, make bold decisions, and take the necessary steps to reach your goals. The 2% aren't afraid to dream big because they believe they can make it happen. They know they are capable of more, and they act on that belief. Next, the 2% don't just think differently, they move differently. They take massive, consistent action toward their goals, no matter how big or small. They are not passive observers of their lives, they are active participants. The 98% are often stuck in indecision or procrastination, waiting for the perfect moment or the right conditions. But the 2% know that the right moment never comes. They create their own moment by taking action, no matter the circumstances. When you move like the 2%, you make decisions quickly, act on them immediately, and trust that momentum will carry you forward. The 2% don't sit back and wait for things to happen, they make things happen. The 2% are also incredibly disciplined in their actions. They have developed the habit of doing what needs to be done, even when they don't feel like it. They don't rely on motivation or inspiration to get them through the day. They rely on their habits, routines, and commitment to their goals. They wake up early, work late, and put in the necessary effort, even when no one is watching. They understand that success is built on consistent, everyday actions. If you want to think, move, and act like the 2%, you need to develop the same level of discipline. This means creating daily habits that align with your goals and sticking to them no matter how difficult or inconvenient it may seem. The 2% also understand the importance of prioritization. They don't waste time on tasks that don't move them closer to their goals. They focus on what matters most and eliminate distractions. The 98% are often bogged down by the busyness of life, answering emails, attending meetings, or scrolling through social media without ever taking meaningful action toward their dreams. But the 2% know that time is their most valuable resource, and they guard it fiercely. They prioritize the actions that will yield the greatest return on investment and avoid getting caught up in tasks that don't contribute to their long-term success. If you want to think and move like the 2%, you need to get ruthless about your priorities. Stop letting the trivial stuff consume your time. Focus on the things that truly matter and let go of everything else. Another crucial trait of the 2% is their ability to embrace discomfort. They don't shy away from challenges or tough situations, they seek them out. They understand that growth happens in the discomfort zone, not in the comfort zone. The 98% try to avoid pain, struggle, and uncertainty, but the 2% know that the road to greatness is filled with obstacles. Instead of running from challenges, they face them head-on, using them as opportunities to grow, learn, and improve. When you act like the 2%, you embrace discomfort as a sign that you're on the right path. You understand that every challenge is an opportunity to stretch yourself, become stronger, and achieve more. In addition to thinking and moving like the 2%, you must also learn to act with purpose. The 2% don't waste time on things that don't align with their goals. They are laser-focused on their mission. They understand the power of deliberate, intentional action. Each move they make is calculated, strategic and purposeful. They don't react to life, they shape it. They don't let circumstances dictate their actions. They create their own reality by taking purposeful steps every single day. To act like the 2%, you must develop this same sense of purpose. Start every day with a clear intention, and make sure every action you take moves you closer to your goals. Finally, the 2% don't act alone. They understand the power of surrounding themselves with the right people. They surround themselves with other high achievers, mentors and individuals who challenge them to grow. The 98% often settle for relationships that are comfortable but unproductive. They surround themselves with people who reinforce their limiting beliefs and encourage mediocrity. But the 2% know that they are the sum of the 5 people they spend the most time with. They intentionally seek out relationships that will push them to grow, encourage them to aim higher, and hold them accountable for their actions. If you want to act like the 2%, you need to build a network of people who will elevate you, challenge you, and inspire you to be your best. The truth is, the 2% aren't born with any special talent or gifts. They simply think differently, move differently, and act with purpose. They have made the decision to live their lives with intention, discipline, and focus. They are willing to do what the average person won't do, and they are relentless in their pursuit of success. If you want to be part of the 2%, you must commit to changing the way you think, move, and act. Start by developing a mindset of abundance and possibility. Take consistent, disciplined action toward your goals. Prioritize what matters most. Embrace discomfort and surround yourself with the right people. When you make these shifts, you will begin to live like the 2% and experience the extraordinary results that come with it. Chapter 10. Eliminate the weaknesses holding you back. The path to success is not paved with perfection, but with constant improvement and the elimination of weaknesses that hold us back. We all have them, those internal limitations, destructive habits, and negative beliefs that stop us from reaching our full potential. Whether it's procrastination, fear, self-doubt, or lack of discipline, these weaknesses create barriers that prevent us from achieving greatness. The most successful individuals are not those who are perfect, but those who are willing to confront and eliminate their weaknesses head-on. The truth is, success is not about being flawless. It's about overcoming the things that are standing in your way and developing the strength to push through those obstacles. The first step in eliminating the weaknesses that hold you back is identifying them. We all have blind spots, areas of our lives where we are either unaware or unwilling to face the truth about ourselves. It's easy to point out weaknesses in others, but it's much harder to look at ourselves objectively. To break free from what's holding you back, you must first take an honest look in the mirror and assess the things that are limiting your growth. What are the habits, patterns, or thought processes that consistently drag you down? Is it procrastination, laziness, or fear of failure? Is it a lack of confidence, or the inability to take risks? Recognizing these weaknesses can be uncomfortable, but it's the first and most important step toward eliminating them. Most people go through life ignoring their weaknesses or making excuses for them. They believe their flaws are just part of who they are. But if you want to achieve extraordinary things, you must take full responsibility for your own growth. This means being brutally honest with yourself about where you are falling short and where you need to improve. Once you've identified your weaknesses, the next step is to change your mindset around them. Too many people allow their weaknesses to define them. They get stuck in a cycle of self-doubt and shame, convincing themselves that they will never be able to overcome their flaws. But the truth is, weaknesses are not permanent. They are simply patterns of behavior and thought that can be reprogrammed. Just because you have a weakness today doesn't mean it has to be a weakness forever. With the right mindset and approach, you can turn your weaknesses into strengths. Changing your mindset requires shifting from a place of victimhood to a place of empowerment. Stop seeing your weaknesses as insurmountable obstacles. Instead, view them as opportunities for growth. Every weakness you confront is a chance to become stronger and more capable. When you stop identifying with your weaknesses, you can start to transform them. The key is not to focus on what you can't do, but on what you can do to overcome those limitations. This shift in perspective will help you take control of your weaknesses rather than letting them control you. After changing your mindset, the next step is to take deliberate action. It's not enough to just recognize your weaknesses and believe you can overcome them. You must take consistent, intentional steps to eliminate them. Weaknesses are not going to disappear on their own. They require effort and action. This is where discipline and commitment come into play. The most successful people are not necessarily the most talented, but they are the ones who have developed the ability to take consistent action, even when it's uncomfortable or difficult. If you want to eliminate your weaknesses, you must be willing to do the work, day in and day out. Start by setting specific, measurable goals related to the weaknesses you want to overcome. For example, if procrastination is holding you back, set a goal to work for a specific period of time each day without distractions. If fear of failure is preventing you from taking action, set a goal to take a small risk every week, gradually increasing the challenges you face. By breaking down the process into manageable steps, you can build momentum and start making real progress. It's also important to create systems and routines that support your success. The most successful people are masters of habit. They don't rely on willpower or motivation to get things done. They rely on the habits they've built. When you create systems that support the elimination of your weaknesses, you make it easier to stay on track. If procrastination is an issue, for example, set up a work environment that minimizes distractions. Create a routine that includes time for focused work, exercise and rest, so that you are constantly reinforcing productive behaviors. The more you integrate positive habits into your daily life, the easier it becomes to eliminate the weaknesses that once held you back. Another critical aspect of eliminating weaknesses is accountability. It's easy to let yourself off the hook when no one is watching, but accountability forces you to stay committed. Share your goals with a mentor, coach, or friend who will hold you accountable for your progress. This external support can be a powerful motivator, helping you stay focused and on track. Knowing that someone is watching can push you to show up and give your best effort, even when you'd rather take the easy way out. Accountability is also a great way to get feedback on your progress and identify any areas where you might need to adjust your approach. One of the most common weaknesses that hold people back is fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being good enough. All of these fears create mental barriers that prevent us from taking action. But fear is often an illusion. It's not based on reality, it's based on our own insecurities and doubts. If you want to eliminate fear as a weakness, you must face it head-on. Take small steps toward the things that scare you, and with each step your fear will begin to lose its grip on you. The more you confront your fears, the more confident and empowered you will become. Remember, fear is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign that you are stretching beyond your comfort zone and growing. Another key to eliminating weaknesses is self-discipline. Without self-discipline, it's easy to fall into bad habits and self-destructive patterns. To become the person you want to be, you must develop the ability to control your impulses and stay focused on your long-term goals. This means saying no to the things that don't align with your values and priorities. It means pushing through the discomfort of doing things you don't feel like doing. Self-discipline is the bridge between your goals and your results. The more you practice it, the easier it becomes to eliminate the weaknesses that are holding you back. You must also develop resilience, the ability to bounce back from setbacks. Failure is not the end of the road, it's simply a detour. If you allow setbacks to define you, you'll never reach your full potential. But if you learn to bounce back stronger every time you face adversity, you'll develop the strength necessary to overcome any obstacle. Resilience comes from perseverance, the ability to keep going even when the going gets tough. It's about having the mental toughness to keep moving forward, no matter how many times you fail. With resilience, you'll find that your weaknesses become less intimidating and easier to overcome. Eliminating the weaknesses that hold you back requires time, effort, and perseverance, but the rewards are worth it. When you confront your weaknesses and turn them into strengths, you become a more powerful, capable person. You unlock your full potential and set yourself up for lasting success. The key is to remain committed to the process, take consistent action, and never let your weaknesses define you. As you eliminate the things that are holding you back, you'll discover a new version of yourself, one that is stronger, more confident, and capable of achieving anything you set your mind to. Keep pushing forward, and remember, every weakness you eliminate brings you one step closer to the person you were always meant to be. Chapter 11. Build the confidence of high achievers. Confidence is the cornerstone of success. It's what fuels high achievers to push through obstacles, take risks, and achieve things most people can only dream of. It's not about arrogance or pretending to be invincible. Rather, it's a deep sense of belief in one's abilities, backed by consistent action and the courage to face challenges head-on. The confidence of high achievers is not something that is simply given. It is built through time, experiences, and deliberate effort. The first and most important truth to understand is that confidence is not something you're born with. It's something you create. Many people mistakenly think that those who appear confident have always been this way. But the truth is, every high achiever started with their own doubts and fears. They faced the same struggles you do now. What sets them apart is their willingness to build their confidence deliberately and systematically. They recognize that confidence is a skill that can be developed, and they work on it every single day. Building the confidence of high achievers starts with understanding that it's a process, not a destination. High achievers approach life with a growth mindset, an understanding that intelligence and abilities can be developed through hard work, dedication, and persistence. This mindset is fundamental to confidence building. When you have a growth mindset, failure is not seen as a defeat, but as a learning opportunity. You understand that every mistake you make is a stepping stone to improvement. When things go wrong, high achievers don't crumble or give up. Instead, they analyze what went wrong, learn from it, and try again with a better strategy. This approach to failure is what creates the resilience necessary for long-term success. A major component of confidence is self-belief. High achievers trust in their ability to figure things out, even when the path is unclear. They don't wait for perfect conditions to start. They act knowing that their skills and resourcefulness will carry them through. Belief in oneself comes from taking action and proving to yourself that you can do hard things. Every time you step out of your comfort zone and succeed, your confidence gets a little stronger. Even when you fail, the fact that you were bold enough to try builds your sense of self-worth. Self-belief is built from the simple act of doing what others might be too afraid to do. Another key aspect of building confidence is developing a sense of competence. Confidence isn't just about believing in yourself, it's also about feeling capable. The more you build your competence, whether through education, practice, or hands-on experience, the more you'll believe in your ability to tackle difficult challenges. High achievers are constantly learning and growing. They take time to master their craft, and they never settle for good enough. The confidence of high achievers comes from a continual process of improvement. They know that competence leads to mastery, and mastery builds confidence. A critical element of high achievers' confidence is their ability to maintain focus on their goals. This focus allows them to push through distractions, stay motivated, and avoid getting discouraged by short-term setbacks. When you have a clear sense of purpose and a solid understanding of what you're working toward, you build the resilience necessary to stay the course, even when things get tough. Confidence grows from the consistency of working toward your goals every day, regardless of the external circumstances. It's about keeping your eyes on the prize and trusting that the effort you're putting in will eventually pay off. High achievers also understand the importance of surrounding themselves with people who uplift and inspire them. Confidence isn't built in isolation, it's shaped by the people you spend time with and the energy you allow into your life. When you surround yourself with positive, ambitious, and supportive people, you create an environment where confidence can thrive. You're encouraged to take risks, challenged to grow, and celebrated for your successes. Conversely, being around negative, unsupportive people can drain your energy and undermine your confidence. High achievers are intentional about the relationships they nurture, choosing to invest in people who elevate them to higher levels. Equally important is the practice of self-compassion. High achievers don't beat themselves up over mistakes. They don't dwell on past failures or let self-criticism take over. Instead, they approach themselves with kindness and understanding. They know that they are not perfect, but they also know that they are worthy of success and capable of growth. By treating themselves with compassion, high achievers free themselves from the paralyzing effects of perfectionism. This mindset allows them to keep moving forward, even when the road is tough. Confidence grows when you accept that you will make mistakes, but you are still deserving of success and capable of achieving it. Setting small, achievable goals is another powerful way to build confidence. High achievers don't focus solely on massive long-term goals. They break them down into smaller, more manageable steps. Each small goal accomplished builds momentum and reinforces the belief that they are capable of achieving more. This process of breaking goals into smaller tasks makes success feel more attainable and less overwhelming. The more small victories you achieve, the more your confidence grows. It's not just about reaching the end goal, it's about celebrating each step along the way. Visualization is another tool that high achievers use to build confidence. By visualizing themselves achieving their goals and overcoming challenges, they create a mental image of success. This visualization builds confidence by allowing them to see themselves succeeding, which makes it feel more attainable. When you visualize yourself succeeding, you program your mind to believe that success is possible, and that belief fuels your actions. High achievers use this technique regularly to boost their confidence and stay motivated during tough times. Positive self-talk is another powerful tool in the confidence-building process. The way you talk to yourself has a direct impact on your confidence. High achievers don't allow negative thoughts to take over. They actively challenge and replace them with empowering, supportive language. They recognize that their internal dialogue shapes their reality. If you want to build confidence, You must change the way you speak to yourself. Instead of focusing on your shortcomings or doubts, focus on your strengths, your progress, and your ability to overcome challenges. Positive self-talk fosters a mindset of possibility, and that mindset fuels your confidence. Building the confidence of high achievers also requires taking risks. Confidence is not about avoiding failure, it's about embracing the possibility of failure and learning to handle it. High achievers take calculated risks because they understand that failure is simply a part of the learning process. When you take risks, you prove to yourself that you're willing to step outside your comfort zone and trust in your abilities. Each risk taken, regardless of the outcome, reinforces your belief in yourself and your ability to handle whatever comes your way. Lastly, high achievers have an unwavering commitment to their own growth and success. They're not waiting for someone else to give them permission to succeed. They take ownership of their journey and make decisions that align with their goals and values. Building confidence requires taking full responsibility for your actions, decisions, and results. It's about being proactive in your own life and taking the necessary steps to create the outcomes you desire. When you take ownership of your journey, you stop relying on external validation and start cultivating internal confidence. In the end, building the confidence of high achievers is about consistent effort, growth, and the willingness to face challenges. It's not an overnight process, but with every step you take toward your goals, you'll find your confidence growing stronger. The key is to believe in yourself, trust the process, and never give up. The confidence of high achievers is not something they were born with, it's something they built, and you can do the same. By taking responsibility for your own growth, practicing self-compassion, surrounding yourself with positive influences, and taking consistent action, you too can build the unshakable confidence of a high achiever. Chapter 12. Upgrade your circle to success-driven minds. Your circle is a direct reflection of who you are. It influences your thoughts, your beliefs, and the energy you carry with you every single day. The people you surround yourself with play a critical role in shaping your mindset, your goals, and ultimately, your success. If you want to elevate yourself to the next level, it's essential to upgrade your circle to success-driven minds. But what does it mean to have a success-driven circle? Success-driven people are those who are committed to constant growth, improvement, and achievement. They are individuals who prioritize their goals, push beyond their limits, and are willing to support and encourage others in their journey to success. These are the kinds of people who inspire you to be better, do better, and achieve better. They challenge you to break through your own barriers and remind you that there is more to life than just staying comfortable. The first step in upgrading your circle is recognizing that not everyone in your life has the same aspirations as you. Not everyone will understand your dreams, your ambitions, or your hunger for success. This is not to say that you need to cut everyone out of your life, but it does mean that you need to be intentional about who you spend your time with. If you're surrounded by people who constantly complain, make excuses, or are content with mediocrity, you'll find yourself stuck in that same cycle. Energy is contagious, and if you allow negativity or complacency to dominate your circle, it will hinder your own growth. Success-driven minds are focused on progress, on pushing boundaries, and on creating their own version of success. They are not limited by external circumstances or setbacks. They view challenges as opportunities to learn and grow. These individuals are driven by purpose, discipline, and a desire to make a positive impact in their lives and the lives of others. They don't let fear of failure dictate their actions. Instead, they use failure as a stepping stone to success. One of the key characteristics of a success-driven circle is accountability. When you are surrounded by people who are as committed to their goals as you are, they hold you accountable for your actions and decisions. They remind you of your potential and help you stay focused on what matters most. This accountability is essential for growth, as it pushes you to keep going even when the road gets tough. A success-driven circle doesn't allow you to make excuses for not achieving your goals. They challenge you to take responsibility for your actions and outcomes. But accountability isn't just about holding others accountable. It's about creating an environment where everyone in the circle is mutually supportive. Success-driven people don't compete with each other. They collaborate and lift each other up. They understand that there is enough success to go around, and that helping others achieve their goals only elevates the entire group. When you upgrade your circle to success-driven minds, you create a culture of mutual growth, where everyone is encouraged to pursue their ambitions and push past their limitations. Another important aspect of a success-driven circle is the emphasis on learning and personal development. People who are committed to success understand that the journey to achievement is not a destination, but a continuous process. They invest in their own growth by reading, attending seminars, seeking mentorship, and constantly seeking new opportunities for self-improvement. When you surround yourself with individuals who prioritize learning and growth, you'll be constantly exposed to new ideas, strategies, and perspectives that will help you elevate your own life. Success-driven individuals understand the importance of mindset. They know that the way you think directly influences the way you act, and the way you act determines your outcomes. That's why they constantly work on developing a positive and growth-oriented mindset. They are not bogged down by negativity, self-doubt, or limiting beliefs. Instead, they focus on what they can control: their actions, their attitude, and their ability to persevere. A success-driven circle helps to reinforce this mindset, as the energy and positivity of those around you will help you stay focused on your goals. Upgrading your circle also means being selective about the people you allow to influence you. Not everyone in your life needs to have the same ambitions or goals as you, but they should share similar values and mindsets. If someone in your life is constantly bringing you down, discouraging your dreams, or questioning your goals, it may be time to reassess that relationship. Sometimes you need to let go of toxic people who drain your energy and limit your potential. Success-driven people understand the power of surrounding themselves with like-minded individuals who uplift them and support their vision. In addition to accountability and mutual support, a success-driven circle also encourages you to step outside your comfort zone. High achievers know that growth doesn't happen when you stay in the familiar. It happens when you push yourself beyond your limits and try new things. Success-driven minds are always looking for ways to expand their horizons and take calculated risks. They encourage you to take bold action, try new strategies, and step into new opportunities. A success-driven circle provides the encouragement and motivation you need to overcome fear and take risks that lead to bigger rewards. At the same time, upgrading your circle means you must also be willing to contribute to the success of others. It's not just about what you can get from the people around you, it's about how you can add value to their lives as well. A success-driven circle is built on mutual respect, trust, and the desire to see everyone succeed. When you are focused on helping others achieve their goals, you create an environment where everyone's success is celebrated. This creates a ripple effect, where positive energy and success become contagious, and everyone in the circle benefits. A success-driven circle also understands the importance of discipline and consistency. High achievers know that success is not built overnight. It's the result of consistent effort over time. They don't rely on motivation alone. They rely on discipline to get up every day and do the work, even when they don't feel like it. Surrounding yourself with people who value discipline will keep you on track when things get tough. They remind you that success is a marathon, not a sprint, and that consistency is key to achieving long-term goals. Upgrading your circle to success-driven minds requires intentionality and effort. You must be willing to step outside of your comfort zone, build new relationships, and distance yourself from those who do not serve your growth. Surrounding yourself with success-driven individuals will challenge you, inspire you, and push you to become the best version of yourself. When you elevate the people around you, you elevate yourself, and together you create an environment where success is inevitable. Remember, your circle is a reflection of your future. If you want to create the life you dream of, you need to surround yourself with people who are already living at that level. By upgrading your circle to success-driven minds, you'll be setting yourself up for greatness. You'll be surrounded by people who believe in you, challenge you, and push you to achieve things you never thought possible. The people you spend time with can either lift you up or hold you back. Make sure your circle is filled with those who will push you to reach your highest potential. Chapter 13. Focus on mastery, not just motivation. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes, like the waves of the ocean. One moment you're fired up, ready to conquer the world, and the next you're stuck in the same routine, questioning if it's all worth it. We've all experienced this cycle. Motivation feels powerful when it hits, but it's unreliable. You cannot build long-lasting success solely on motivation. What you need to focus on, what you need to anchor yourself to, is mastery. Mastery is the act of committing to something so deeply that you don't just get good at it, you become great. It's about pushing beyond the initial excitement, beyond the early stages when everything is new and thrilling. Mastery is the grit that carries you through the plateau moments when motivation fades and progress doesn't seem immediate. It's the understanding that growth is a process and that every small step, every hour of practice, and every failure is part of the journey. If you focus solely on motivation, you'll be left scrambling for that next spark of inspiration to carry you through the day. It's not enough. Motivation may get you started, but it's mastery that will keep you going when things get tough. This is why so many people fail to sustain their progress. They rely on motivation to fuel their actions, but motivation alone is not reliable. Motivation is an emotion, and like all emotions, it is temporary. Mastery, on the other hand, is a discipline. It's about cultivating a mindset that focuses on consistent improvement, regardless of how you feel in the moment. Mastery demands patience. It demands the willingness to embrace the long road, understanding that progress is often slow but consistent. The journey toward mastery isn't always exciting, and it certainly isn't always glamorous. There are no shortcuts, no hacks, no easy wins. Mastery requires you to show up every single day, no matter what. It's about doing the work even when you don't feel like it. It's about sticking with it through the highs and the lows. The most successful individuals don't rely on motivation to push them. They rely on the power of mastery, on the commitment to honing their craft and becoming experts in their field. The process of mastery is not just about acquiring technical skills. It's also about developing a deep understanding of your craft. Mastery is about refining your judgment, your intuition, and your ability to navigate complex situations with ease. It's about becoming so proficient at something that it becomes second nature. This takes time, effort, and dedication. The more you learn, the more you realize how much there is to know. But it's this continual pursuit of knowledge, this hunger for self-improvement, that drives mastery. One of the keys to mastery is embracing failure, not as something to avoid, but as a crucial part of the learning process. Every mistake, every misstep, is an opportunity to grow. In fact, the most successful people are often the ones who have failed the most. They've failed and learned, failed and improved, until they reached a level of expertise that others can only dream of. If you want to achieve mastery, you must let go of the fear of failure. You must embrace it, learn from it, and use it as fuel to keep moving forward. This mindset shift is critical. Most people avoid failure because they believe it's a sign that they're not good enough, that they're not capable of succeeding. But those who focus on mastery understand that failure is not a reflection of their worth, it's simply part of the process. Every successful person has faced failure at some point, but they didn't let it stop them. They used it as a lesson, a stepping stone to push them further toward mastery. Another important aspect of mastery is the ability to focus. Success is not achieved by hopping from one thing to another, constantly chasing after new ideas, tools, or trends. Mastery requires focus on a single pursuit, a single goal, and the ability to dedicate your time and energy to that goal consistently. It's about saying no to distractions and staying committed to the process, even when it feels like nothing is happening. This focus on long-term growth is what separates those who are successful from those who are constantly chasing short-term rewards. In today's world, it's easy to get distracted. There's always something new to learn, a new trend to follow, or a new method to try. But those who focus on mastery understand that true success comes from consistency, not from constantly searching for the next shiny object. They know that mastery isn't about jumping from one thing to the next. It's about sticking with one thing long enough to get really good at it. It's also important to understand that mastery is not a destination, it's a lifelong journey. No one ever truly masters something. The moment you think you've reached the pinnacle of mastery is the moment you stop growing. True mastery is about continually refining your skills, continually learning, and continually pushing the boundaries of your potential. This mindset of continuous improvement is what allows the most successful people to stay at the top of their game. The difference between someone who is motivated and someone who is focused on mastery is evident in their actions. When motivation fades, the motivated individual often falls off track, waiting for the next burst of inspiration. The person who is focused on mastery, however, shows up every day, doing the work even when they don't feel like it. They understand that the journey to greatness isn't always easy, but they are committed to doing whatever it takes to improve. Mastery also requires discipline. It's about creating habits and routines that support your growth and development. This discipline comes from within. It's the ability to push yourself, to do the work when you don't feel like it, to stay focused when distractions are all around you. It's the consistent effort of showing up every day, even when progress seems slow, knowing that the small steps you take now will lead to bigger results in the future. One of the most powerful aspects of mastery is the sense of fulfillment it brings. When you focus on mastery, you are not just working toward external rewards or recognition. Instead, you are working toward internal growth, personal development, and self-improvement. This deep sense of fulfillment comes from knowing that you are becoming the best version of yourself, that you are honing your skills and expertise to the highest level. When you focus on mastery, you stop comparing yourself to others. Success is no longer about outperforming someone else or achieving what others have. It's about measuring your progress against your own growth. The only competition is you. You push yourself not to compete with others, but to compete with who you were yesterday. This shift in mindset is crucial because it allows you to stay focused on your own journey without getting distracted by external pressures or comparisons. Mastery is a mindset. It's about committing to the process of growth, staying disciplined, and embracing the challenges that come with it. It's about focusing on becoming the best version of yourself, regardless of how long it takes. Motivation may get you started, but it's mastery that will keep you moving forward, even when the road gets tough. When you focus on mastery, you stop relying on external motivation and start building the internal drive that will propel you towards success. In the end, it's the pursuit of mastery that leads to real success. Mastery is not about perfection, it's about continuous improvement. It's about putting in the work even when motivation is absent and trusting that the effort you put in today will pay off in the long run. Success comes not from chasing fleeting motivation, but from committing to the process of becoming the best at what you do. When you focus on mastery, you create a foundation for lasting success, one that is built on discipline, consistency, and an unwavering commitment to self-improvement. Chapter 14. Discipline yourself to outlast everyone else. Discipline is the cornerstone of success. It is the one trait that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary, the dreamers from the doers, and those who quit from those who persevere. The reality is that success is not determined by talent, luck, or even intelligence. It is determined by one thing: discipline. And this discipline is the ultimate test of your ability to endure, to keep going when others stop, to push yourself when everything inside you tells you to quit. If you want to succeed, if you want to outlast everyone else, you must cultivate the kind of discipline that drives you to keep moving forward, no matter the obstacles. At the heart of discipline lies the ability to push through discomfort. Most people quit when things get hard. They hit a wall, they face resistance, and they give up. The difference between the average and the exceptional is how they respond to adversity. While others retreat, those who are disciplined face the discomfort head-on and keep going. They understand that the journey to success is not a smooth ride. There will be setbacks, failures, and moments of doubt. But rather than being discouraged by these challenges, they use them as fuel to keep pushing forward. Discipline isn't just about doing what's easy or convenient. It's about making the right choices, even when the path is difficult or uncomfortable. It's about sticking to your commitments, even when no one is watching. Discipline is about showing up every single day, even when you're tired, even when you're frustrated, and even when the results don't come right away. The people who succeed are the ones who are willing to keep going, no matter how hard it gets. They understand that greatness is not achieved in a single moment of inspiration, but through consistent, focused effort over time. In a world where instant gratification is the norm, discipline is more important than ever. Everyone wants success, but few are willing to do what it takes to achieve it. The world is full of distractions, shiny objects that pull us away from our goals and tempt us to take shortcuts. But those who cultivate discipline are able to ignore the noise, to stay focused on their long-term vision, and to put in the hard work required to make that vision a reality. The truth is, there will always be someone who is more talented, more fortunate, or more naturally gifted than you. But what they can't take away from you is your discipline. While others are sitting back, waiting for the perfect moment or the right circumstances, you're showing up and doing the work. You're pushing yourself every single day to get better, to grow, to improve. And in the end, it's not talent that will determine your success. It's your ability to outlast everyone else through sheer discipline. Discipline requires a level of sacrifice. It means saying no to things that might feel good in the moment, but won't help you reach your goals. It means giving up comfort, convenience, and temporary pleasures for the sake of your long-term success. It means putting in the time and effort, even when it feels like no one else is willing to do the same. While others are making excuses, you're making progress. While they're complaining about how hard things are, you're finding a way to make it work. One of the most powerful aspects of discipline is that it creates momentum. The more disciplined you are, the more you build upon your success. Each small action, each step forward, builds upon the last. Over time, these small efforts add up to massive results. Discipline compounds, and the more you stick to your routines and commitments, the easier it becomes to keep moving forward. The key is to stay consistent, to keep pushing even when progress seems slow. Eventually, those small actions will create a snowball effect, and you'll find yourself achieving things you never thought possible. It's easy to be motivated when things are going well, but motivation is fleeting, and it fades when the challenges come. That's why discipline is so powerful. It's not reliant on emotion or external circumstances. It's a choice. Discipline is something you can choose every single day, regardless of how you feel. It's the ability to keep going when the motivation runs out, to keep pushing when everything inside of you is telling you to quit. Discipline is what carries you through the tough times, what gets you through the moments when you feel like giving up. In order to build this kind of discipline, you must create systems and habits that support your goals. It's not enough to rely on willpower alone. Willpower can be weak, and it can run out. But when you create a routine, when you make discipline a part of your daily life, it becomes automatic. It's no longer something you have to force yourself to do. It's something you do without thinking. The more you build these habits, the more effortless it becomes to stay disciplined, even when times are tough. Discipline also means holding yourself accountable. It's about setting clear expectations for yourself and following through on them, no matter what. Accountability keeps you honest, keeps you on track, and ensures that you're doing the work, even when you don't feel like it. It's about creating a standard for yourself and never settling for anything less. Accountability means taking full responsibility for your actions and your outcomes. It means not blaming others, not making excuses, and not waiting for someone else to motivate you. The only person responsible for your success is you. But building discipline doesn't happen overnight. It's a process that takes time and effort. You're going to face obstacles along the way, and you're going to have days when you feel like you've failed. But it's important to remember that discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about making consistent progress, day after day, even when it's hard. It's about getting back on track when you stumble, rather than giving up. The key is to keep going, to stay committed, and to never stop believing in your ability to succeed. When you commit to discipline, you are making a promise to yourself. You are promising that you will do whatever it takes to achieve your goals, no matter how long it takes or how difficult it gets. You are promising to outlast everyone else, to keep pushing forward when others give up. And when you stick to that promise, when you show up every day with relentless determination, you will inevitably find success. The power of discipline is that it doesn't just change your actions, it changes your mindset. It shifts you from a place of uncertainty and doubt to a place of confidence and clarity. It helps you see that success isn't just a matter of luck or timing, it's a matter of showing up, day in and day out, with the commitment to put in the work. Discipline transforms you from someone who is hoping for success to someone who is actively creating it. It makes you unstoppable, because nothing can stand in the way of someone who is disciplined enough to keep going, no matter what. If you want to outlast everyone else, if you want to build a life of success and achievement, you must be willing to discipline yourself to keep going, to keep pushing, and to keep working toward your goals, no matter the obstacles. This is the ultimate secret to success: consistency, effort, and the unwavering commitment to never give up. When you outlast everyone else, you've already won. Chapter 15. Use the 2% strategy to win daily. The 2% strategy is one of the most effective tools for consistently winning every day. It's simple, but it works. The idea behind it is to focus on just a small but impactful daily improvement, just 2%. This approach doesn't require massive, overwhelming shifts, and it's something you can do no matter where you are in life. It's the commitment to getting a little better every single day, and over time, those small gains compound to create massive success. Success doesn't happen overnight, but with the 2% strategy, you will move forward every single day in a sustainable and impactful way. Imagine waking up every day knowing that you only need to get 2% better. You don't need to transform your entire life overnight. You don't need to achieve everything today, but what you need to do is commit to that small improvement. It's this consistency, this dedication to small daily gains that will lead to extraordinary results. Just 2% might not seem like much, but over time, it adds up. A small, consistent improvement every day leads to a huge transformation. The beauty of this strategy is that it doesn't rely on perfection. It's about progress, not perfection. One of the most powerful things about the 2% strategy is its ability to help you stay focused on your long-term goals without feeling overwhelmed. Too often, people make the mistake of thinking they need to make dramatic, immediate changes to their lives in order to succeed. This often leads to burnout and discouragement. But the 2% strategy teaches you to be patient. It's not about rushing towards success. It's about committing to consistent growth, no matter how small that growth may seem in the moment. And because you're focused on manageable, incremental improvements, you avoid the frustration and anxiety that can come from trying to make dramatic, overnight changes. But consistency isn't just about doing a little bit every day, it's about doing that little bit with intention and focus. When you adopt the 2% strategy, you're not just going through the motions. You're taking deliberate action with purpose. You're not simply ticking off boxes. You're making sure that each day is contributing to your long-term success. Each small improvement matters, but they only matter if they're done with commitment and intention. This is what separates the high achievers from the ones who struggle. High achievers know that success isn't about doing everything all at once. It's about setting clear goals, making steady progress, and staying focused on those goals over time. The 2% strategy also helps you avoid the trap of comparison. When you're working toward your goals, it's easy to fall into the trap of looking at other people's progress and measuring yourself against them. But everyone's journey is different, and comparing yourself to others only leads to frustration and discouragement. The 2% strategy helps you keep your eyes on your own path. Instead of worrying about where others are or how quickly they're moving forward, you focus on your own daily progress. This allows you to stay motivated and avoid the negative impact of comparison. One of the key elements of the 2% strategy is its ability to create momentum. When you start with small, manageable improvements, you create a positive feedback loop. Every day you see the results of your efforts, and that drives you to keep going. As you build momentum, you start to see that progress isn't as difficult as it may have once seemed. The more you do, the more you want to do. The small victories add up, and soon you're creating a snowball effect of success that's hard to stop. This is how the 2% strategy works. Small actions taken consistently build on each other, creating exponential growth over time. Another powerful aspect of the 2% strategy is its ability to improve your mindset. When you focus on small daily improvements, you're shifting your mindset from one of scarcity to one of abundance. Instead of focusing on what you don't have or what you haven't achieved yet, you're focusing on the progress you've made. This shift in mindset is crucial because it helps you stay motivated, even when the results aren't immediately visible. You start to see every small step as a victory, and that keeps you moving forward. It changes the way you view challenges and setbacks, turning them into opportunities to learn and grow rather than obstacles that slow you down. The 2% strategy also encourages resilience. Life is unpredictable, and there will always be challenges that come your way. But when you've committed to daily improvement, setbacks don't feel as daunting. You understand that even when things don't go as planned, you can still make progress. You can still improve, even if it's just 2%. This resilience is what allows you to bounce back from failures, to learn from mistakes, and to continue moving forward no matter what life throws at you. The 2% strategy teaches you that success isn't a straight line. It's a series of steps, some easy and some difficult, but all of them contributing to your growth. The key to the 2% strategy is consistency. It's not about making huge strides every day. It's about showing up, taking action, and committing to improvement every single day. It's about making a decision to get a little better, no matter how small that improvement is. The power of this strategy lies in its simplicity. It's not complicated. It doesn't require you to overhaul your entire life. It just requires you to take small, consistent steps toward your goals every day. And over time, those small steps will add up to big results. The 2% strategy is also flexible. It can be applied to any area of your life, whether you're working on your personal growth, your career, your relationships, or your health. No matter what you're trying to achieve, the principle remains the same. Focus on making small, manageable improvements every day. By doing so, you create a steady path toward success, and you make consistent progress toward your goals. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep moving forward, one small step at a time. When you focus on the 2% strategy, you begin to see success in a new light. Success is no longer an overwhelming, far-off goal. It becomes a daily habit, a series of small actions that add up over time. Each day becomes an opportunity to make progress. Each small step is a victory, and those victories accumulate to create lasting success. With the 2% strategy, you shift your mindset from a focus on big, unattainable goals to a focus on small daily improvements that lead to extraordinary results over time. The power of the 2% strategy lies in its simplicity, consistency, and focus. It teaches you to embrace the process of growth rather than fixating on the end result. Success is not something that happens overnight. It's a series of daily decisions, a commitment to improvement, and a willingness to keep going when things get tough. When you adopt the 2% strategy, you create the foundation for lasting success. Every day, you win a little bit more. And over time, those small wins lead to the ultimate victory. By focusing on daily improvements, you create a life that is defined by progress, not perfection. Chapter 16. Rise above distractions and stay unstoppable. Distractions are a part of life, but what separates the successful from the unsuccessful is how we deal with them. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. They're in our phones, our emails, our social media feeds, our friends, and even in our own thoughts. But here's the truth. The most successful people don't avoid distractions, they rise above them. They develop a mindset that allows them to stay focused, stay in control, and stay unstoppable no matter what life throws their way. To rise above distractions, the first thing you need to understand is that distractions are a choice. You might think that distractions just happen to you, that they're out of your control, but that's simply not true. Every time you check your phone, look at a notification, or let your mind wander, you are choosing to be distracted. No one can force you to pay attention to something that doesn't serve your purpose or help you reach your goals. Distractions are always within your control. And the moment you recognize that, you begin to realize that you have the power to stop them. The most successful people don't let distractions take control of their attention. They have trained their minds to focus on what matters most. They've learned that distractions don't add value to their lives, they just waste time and energy. So, they make a conscious choice every day to focus on what matters, to keep their attention on their goals, and to ignore the noise around them. They don't let distractions sidetrack them or pull them off course. The next step in rising above distractions is understanding that focus is a muscle. Just like any muscle in your body, your ability to focus grows stronger the more you exercise it. But if you're constantly letting distractions pull your attention away, you're not strengthening your focus, you're weakening it. So, if you want to be unstoppable, you have to train your mind to stay focused. You have to build the mental discipline necessary to ignore distractions and stay on track. One of the most powerful tools for building this focus muscle is practicing mindfulness. When you're mindful, you're fully present in the moment. You're not thinking about what's coming next, what you should have done yesterday, or what someone else is doing. You're not worrying about the future or rehashing the past. Instead, you're focused on what you're doing right now. This allows you to eliminate distractions because you're not letting your mind wander. Mindfulness helps you stay centered and in control of your attention. Another way to rise above distractions is by creating boundaries. In a world that's constantly calling for your attention, you need to be clear about what you will and won't allow into your life. Whether it's limiting time on social media, saying no to requests that don't align with your goals, or setting aside specific time blocks to focus on deep work, boundaries are essential for staying focused. When you establish boundaries, you're sending a message to yourself and to others that your time is valuable. You're telling yourself that your goals are worth protecting and that you will not let anything or anyone stand in the way of your progress. It's also important to recognize the role that your environment plays in keeping you focused. Your physical environment, where you work, live, and spend your time, can either help or hinder your ability to stay focused. If your space is cluttered and chaotic, it's harder to concentrate. If you're surrounded by distractions, like TV or people who are constantly interrupting you, you're making it much harder for yourself to rise above distractions. To stay unstoppable, you need to take control of your environment. Create a space that fosters focus and productivity. Remove distractions, organize your surroundings, and make sure everything you need is within reach, so you're not constantly getting up to look for things. A clean and organized environment is a powerful tool for staying on track and keeping distractions at bay. Distractions are often the result of lack of clarity. When you're unclear about what you want to achieve or what your priorities are, it's easy to get sidetracked by anything that comes your way. On the other hand, when you have clear goals, a sense of purpose, and a deep understanding of what matters most to you, distractions become easier to ignore. You'll have a laser-sharp focus on what needs to be done, and when distractions arise, you'll know exactly what to do. Stay focused and keep moving forward. This clarity of purpose is what allows you to stay on track even when the world is throwing distractions in your face. Another key to staying unstoppable is learning how to manage your energy, not just your time. Distractions are not only a drain on your attention, they're a drain on your energy. Every time you allow your mind to wander or get caught up in something that isn't helping you reach your goals, you're expending energy that could be better used elsewhere. To rise above distractions, you need to manage your energy effectively. Take breaks when you need to, rest when you're tired, and be intentional about how you spend your energy throughout the day. In addition, it's important to recognize the difference between being busy and being productive. Many people mistake being busy for being productive, but there's a huge difference. Being busy means you're constantly running around, doing things without any real focus or purpose. Being productive means you're working on the right things, staying focused, and making steady progress toward your goals. When you're caught up in distractions, you can end up being busy without accomplishing anything meaningful. But when you stay focused, you're able to eliminate the busyness and focus on what truly matters. One of the most powerful ways to stay unstoppable is to have a strong why behind everything you do. When your purpose is clear, when you're deeply connected to your mission, distractions become much easier to ignore. Your why acts as a filter for everything that comes your way. If something doesn't align with your why, it becomes easier to say no to it. If something doesn't contribute to your growth or your goals, it becomes easier to ignore. Your why is your North Star. It guides you and keeps you on track. The ability to rise above distractions also involves knowing how to handle setbacks. Distractions don't just come in the form of interruptions or time wasters. They also come in the form of obstacles, challenges, and failures. And when you're faced with a setback, it's easy to get distracted by frustration, self-doubt, or negative emotions. But the most successful people don't let setbacks distract them. They learn from them, grow from them, and keep moving forward. They don't let failure stop them. Instead, they use it as fuel to push themselves harder. The key to staying unstoppable is resilience. It's about bouncing back from setbacks, staying positive in the face of adversity, and refusing to let anything or anyone derail you from your mission. To rise above distractions and stay unstoppable, you must also learn to protect your time. Time is your most valuable resource, and distractions rob you of it. Every time you let something pull your attention away from your goals, you're wasting precious time that you'll never get back. Successful people understand the value of time, and they guard it fiercely. They don't let distractions rob them of their most important resource. They schedule their time intentionally, they prioritize their goals, and they make sure that their time is spent doing things that matter. Ultimately, rising above distractions is about developing the mental discipline to stay focused, stay resilient, and stay on track, no matter what life throws your way. It's about making conscious choices, setting boundaries, managing your energy, and staying connected to your purpose. It's about understanding that distractions are a part of life, but they don't have to control you. By rising above distractions, you can achieve anything you set your mind to. You can stay unstoppable and make progress toward your goals every single day. Chapter 17. Destroy fear and take bold action. Fear is a natural emotion, one that every human experiences at different points in life. It can be paralyzing, overwhelming, and debilitating. But the truth is, fear is not an enemy. It's a signal. A signal that you are stepping into new territory, that you are challenging yourself in ways that you haven't before. And when you recognize this, you can start to change your relationship with fear. Fear, if used correctly, can be a powerful force that propels you forward, rather than holding you back. The first step to destroying fear is understanding that it's not something to be avoided. It's not something to run away from. When you try to escape fear, you only give it more power. But when you face it head-on, when you move toward it rather than away from it, you start to take control. Fear becomes something that works for you, not against you. You've probably heard the saying, "Feel the fear and do it anyway." There's a reason why this statement is so powerful. It's because it speaks to the essence of boldness. Bold action is not the absence of fear, it's the willingness to take action despite the fear. It's about deciding that your goals, your dreams, and your mission are bigger than any fear that tries to stop you. The people who make the most progress in life are not the ones who are never afraid. They're the ones who feel the fear and take bold action in spite of it. Bold action starts with a shift in mindset. You have to start thinking of fear as a friend, not a foe. Every time you feel that familiar twinge of fear, instead of running from it, ask yourself, what is this fear trying to tell me? What's on the other side of this fear? In most cases, the answer is growth. The answer is a new level of success. The answer is the person you need to become in order to achieve your greatest desires. Fear shows you where your edges are. It's a sign that you're pushing beyond your comfort zone. You don't feel fear when you're doing things that are easy or comfortable, but when you decide to take on something challenging, when you step up to the plate and go after something big, that's when fear shows up. So instead of shrinking away from it, embrace it as a sign that you're on the right path. Fear means you're about to break through and achieve something you've never achieved before. The second step in destroying fear is to stop overthinking. Fear often gets amplified when you spend too much time thinking about it, analyzing it, and letting your mind spiral into worst-case scenarios. When you overthink, you give fear more power than it deserves. You start imagining all the things that could go wrong, and before you know it, you're paralyzed. The key to bold action is to stop thinking and start doing. Don't wait until everything is perfect. Don't wait until you have all the answers. Don't wait until the fear is gone, because it may never go away. Start anyway. When you stop overthinking, you give yourself permission to move forward. You stop letting fear dictate your actions, and instead, you choose to take control of your own destiny. Remember, the people who achieve great things are not the ones who wait for the perfect moment or for fear to disappear. They're the ones who act in spite of fear. They take bold steps forward, not because they're fearless, but because they're willing to take action even when they're afraid. Another powerful tool for destroying fear is visualization. Visualization is a technique that many high achievers use to overcome fear and build confidence. When you visualize your success, when you imagine yourself achieving your goals, you create a mental image of success that is far more powerful than the fear of failure. Your mind doesn't know the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. So, when you visualize yourself taking bold action and succeeding, you're programming your mind for success. This mental rehearsal helps you build confidence and diminish fear, so when it's time to take action, you're ready to go. To take bold action, you also need to be willing to face the possibility of failure. The fear of failure is one of the most common fears that holds people back. We're conditioned to think that failure is something to be avoided at all costs. But the reality is that failure is an essential part of success. Every successful person has failed countless times. The difference is that they didn't let failure stop them. They used failure as a learning experience, a stepping stone on their way to success. To destroy fear, you must change your perspective on failure. Instead of fearing it, embrace it as a natural part of the process. When you fail, it's not the end of the world. It's simply a lesson that will help you get better, stronger, and more prepared for the next step. Failure is not permanent. It's just a moment in time. What matters is how you respond to it. Will you let fear of failure keep you stuck, or will you learn from it, grow from it, and keep moving forward? One of the most important factors in taking bold action is developing a strong sense of self-belief. Fear often arises when you doubt your own abilities, when you question whether you're capable of achieving your goals. But the truth is, you are capable of more than you know. You have incredible potential inside of you, and you've already overcome challenges in the past that have prepared you for the obstacles ahead. The key to overcoming fear is to trust in your abilities and believe in yourself. When you believe in yourself, fear loses its power. You start to see challenges as opportunities for growth. You start to view obstacles as stepping stones to your success. With self-belief, you can move through fear, take bold action, and keep pushing forward, no matter how big the challenges seem. Another way to destroy fear and take bold action is to surround yourself with support. Fear thrives in isolation. When you're alone with your thoughts, fear can feel overwhelming and insurmountable. But when you surround yourself with people who believe in you, people who encourage and support you, fear starts to lose its grip. A strong support system provides the encouragement you need to push past your fears and take the next step. Your environment plays a huge role in how you experience fear. If you're surrounded by negativity, doubt, and pessimism, fear will feel more powerful. But when you're surrounded by positivity, encouragement, and people who lift you up, fear starts to lose its intensity. That's why it's so important to surround yourself with people who inspire you, people who challenge you to be better, and people who believe in your potential. Lastly, taking bold action is about making a commitment to your future self. The decisions you make today, the actions you take today, shape the life you'll have tomorrow. If you continue to let fear hold you back, you'll look back and regret not taking action. But if you decide to destroy fear and take bold action now, you'll look back with pride, knowing that you didn't let fear stop you from becoming the person you were meant to be. Fear will always be a part of your journey, but it doesn't have to control you. When you choose to face fear, take action despite it, and embrace the discomfort, you unlock the potential within you to achieve greatness. Take bold action and watch how your life transforms. Fear will no longer be an obstacle. It will become a stepping stone on your path to success. Chapter 18. Control your time. Like the top 2%. Time is the most valuable resource we have. Once it's gone, it's gone. The world's wealthiest people, the highest achievers, and the top 2% of performers understand this truth more than anyone else. They understand that the difference between those who achieve massive success and those who struggle to get by isn't talent or opportunity, it's how they manage their time. The top 2% don't waste time. They don't let distractions steal their focus. They don't procrastinate. They are intentional about everything they do, because they know that every minute counts. The way they control their time is the key to their extraordinary success, and you can adopt these same strategies to elevate your life and perform at the highest level. The first step in controlling your time, like the top 2%, is understanding that time is not infinite. You must see time as a finite, precious resource. The more you treat it like something valuable, the more intentional you will be about how you spend it. Most people wake up and go through their day without thinking about how they're using their time. They allow distractions, procrastination, and external pressures to dictate their schedule. But the top 2% don't let that happen. They have a deep awareness of their time. They wake up each day with a purpose and a plan. They know exactly what they need to do and when they need to do it. Every task, every meeting, every conversation is scheduled, prioritized, and intentional. They don't waste time on things that don't move them closer to their goals. If it's not aligned with their vision, it's not worth their time. The next step is prioritization. The top 2% know that they can't do everything. They have to choose what's most important and focus on that. This means saying no to distractions and opportunities that don't align with their goals. It means eliminating the time-wasting activities that so many people fall victim to, like checking social media every 5 minutes or getting caught up in conversations that don't move them forward. They recognize that every moment is an opportunity to get closer to their goals, and they guard that time fiercely. To prioritize effectively, you must first understand what your highest value tasks are. These are the tasks that move the needle in your life. They are the things that directly contribute to your personal growth, your career, and your relationships. The top 2% know exactly what these tasks are, and they make sure they spend the majority of their time on them. They don't get caught up in the low-value, low-impact activities that drain their energy and time. Instead, they focus on the few things that will produce the greatest results. Once you've identified your highest value tasks, you must create a schedule that reflects those priorities. The top 2% don't just go with the flow. They create a detailed plan for each day, week, and month. They know exactly what they need to do and when they need to do it. Their calendars are meticulously organized, and every task is mapped out with precision. They block out time for deep work, for learning, for exercise, for rest, everything that contributes to their overall well-being and success. But scheduling is not just about blocking out time for work, it's also about scheduling time for rest and recovery. The top 2% know that rest is just as important as work. They don't burn themselves out by constantly pushing without taking time to recharge. They understand that their bodies and minds need time to recover in order to perform at their best. This means scheduling regular breaks, taking vacations, and ensuring they get enough sleep. They know that when they take care of themselves, they perform at a higher level, and they make better decisions with their time. Another crucial aspect of controlling your time, like the top 2%, is managing distractions. Distractions are everywhere in today's world. From notifications on your phone to endless emails and meetings, distractions are a constant challenge. But the top 2% don't allow distractions to derail their focus. They take proactive steps to minimize distractions and stay on track. One of the most powerful tools the top 2% use is the concept of deep work. Deep work is the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. It's about entering a state of flow where you are fully immersed in your work without being interrupted by emails, phone calls, or other distractions. The top 2% schedule time for deep work and guard it fiercely. During these blocks of time, they turn off their phones, close their email, and eliminate anything that could pull them away from their task. This allows them to get more done in less time and produce higher quality work. In addition to deep work, the top 2% are masters at batching their tasks. Batching is the practice of grouping similar tasks together and completing them all at once, rather than switching back and forth between different types of work. For example, instead of checking emails every few minutes throughout the day, the top 2% set aside a specific block of time to go through their inbox and handle all their emails at once. This reduces mental fatigue and helps them stay focused on the tasks that truly matter. The top 2% also understand the importance of delegating tasks that don't require their attention. They don't waste time doing things that others can do for them. They build strong teams and trust them to handle the details, freeing up their time for the tasks that only they can do. Delegation is a key strategy for maximizing productivity, and the top 2% use it to their advantage. But delegation is not just about outsourcing tasks, it's also about being strategic with your own time. The top 2% know that they cannot afford to spend hours on low-level tasks, so they delegate or eliminate them. They focus on the high-leverage activities that will move the needle in their lives, and they let others handle the rest. One of the most important time management strategies of the top 2% is constant self-reflection. They regularly assess how they are spending their time and make adjustments as needed. They ask themselves, am I spending my time on the things that matter most? Am I making progress toward my goals? What can I do better? This self-awareness allows them to stay on track and make the necessary changes to stay focused and productive. The top 2% are also incredibly disciplined. They don't rely on motivation to get things done, they rely on habit and consistency. They create routines that support their goals and stick to them day in and day out. These routines are designed to maximize their time and energy, ensuring they are always working on the most important tasks. They don't wait for inspiration or motivation to strike, they simply show up and do the work. Consistency is what separates the high achievers from the rest. The top 2% understand that success is not about bursts of intense effort followed by long periods of procrastination. It's about showing up every day, doing the work, and steadily moving toward your goals. They understand that time is their most valuable resource, and they don't waste it. If you want to control your time like the top 2%, you must adopt the same mindset. You must see time as a precious resource, and you must be intentional about how you spend every minute. Prioritize your most important tasks, create a schedule that reflects your priorities, eliminate distractions, and take regular breaks to recharge. Use deep work and batching to maximize your productivity, and don't be afraid to delegate tasks that don't require your attention. Most importantly, be consistent. Build habits that support your goals and show up every day ready to do the work. When you manage your time like the top 2%, you unlock the potential for extraordinary success. You stop wasting time and start making every minute count. You take control of your future and you position yourself to achieve greatness. Time is the most powerful tool you have. How you use it will determine the life you create. Start managing it like the top 2% and watch how your life transforms. Chapter 19. Create success habits that never fail. The foundation of success is not built on grand gestures, overwhelming effort, or sheer luck. It is built on the small, consistent actions we take every single day. These actions form the habits that shape our lives, for better or worse. The most successful people in the world didn't get there by accident. They got there through creating success habits that never fail. These habits are the ones that drive them forward, day in and day out, no matter what obstacles come their way. Success doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't come from sporadic bursts of effort. It's the result of building a system of habits that work together to move you toward your goals. These habits are not fancy, nor are they difficult to implement, but they are the keys to creating sustainable, lasting success. The first and most important habit of success is consistency. This is the habit that holds all others together. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to do everything right. But you do have to show up every single day. Success isn't built on perfection. It's built on consistency. Whether it's in your health, your career, or your personal growth, the key is to keep showing up. When you're consistent, even on the days you don't feel like it, you create momentum. You build discipline. And most importantly, you make progress toward your goals. Building consistency starts with making small, actionable decisions every day. You don't have to commit to hours of work right away. Start small, set the bar low enough that you can easily succeed, and then build from there. If your goal is to write a book, don't commit to writing 5,000 words every day right away. Start with 500 words. If you're trying to get healthier, don't sign up for an intense workout routine right off the bat. Start by walking for 20 minutes a day. The key is to start somewhere and then build on that foundation. These small, consistent actions will compound over time and lead you to achieve your big goals. One of the most powerful success habits is goal setting. Without clear, defined goals, you'll have no direction and no purpose. A goal gives you something to strive for, something to work toward, but goals alone aren't enough. To make them work for you, you need to break them down into smaller, actionable steps. This is where the power of habit comes into play. Once you've set your goal, identify the daily habits that will move you closer to that goal. If your goal is to become healthier, your habits might include eating clean, exercising regularly, and getting enough sleep. If your goal is to grow your business, your habits might include setting aside time each day to work on your business plan, connect with potential clients, or improve your skills. When you break your goals down into specific, actionable habits, you create a roadmap for success. The key to achieving any goal is to focus on the process, not just the outcome. Instead of obsessing over the end result, focus on the daily actions that will get you there. This will help you stay motivated, even when progress feels slow. Remember, success is a journey, not a destination. It's the habits you develop along the way that will determine your success. Another essential habit for success is time management. Successful people know how to manage their time effectively. They understand that time is their most valuable asset, and they use it wisely. Time management is about making intentional choices with how you spend your time, focusing on the activities that will move you closer to your goals, and eliminating distractions that waste your time. Effective time management starts with understanding where your time is going. Track your time for a week or two, and you'll quickly realize where your time is being spent and where it's being wasted. Once you have a clear picture of how you're spending your time, you can start making changes. The top performers don't waste time on unimportant tasks. They prioritize the things that matter most. This means setting aside specific blocks of time for focused work, scheduling breaks, and even saying no to opportunities that don't align with your goals. Part of managing your time effectively is creating a routine. A well-structured daily routine eliminates decision fatigue and helps you stay on track. When you follow a routine, your actions become automatic and you don't have to think about what to do next. The more you make your success habits automatic, the less mental energy you'll spend on them. This frees up your mind to focus on other important tasks, and it keeps you on the path to achieving your goals. Another success habit that is often overlooked is self-discipline. Discipline is the ability to push yourself to take action, even when you don't feel like it. It's about doing the hard things, the uncomfortable things, the things that require effort and persistence. Discipline is what keeps you going when motivation fades. It's the force that drives you forward when you'd rather give up. Building discipline starts with making a commitment to yourself. You need to make the decision that no matter what, you will follow through on your goals. That means no excuses, no procrastination, no waiting for the perfect moment. You have to develop the habit of doing what you said you would do, even when it's hard. This is where your success habits will really start to pay off. Discipline is built by consistently following through on your commitments, no matter how small. Over time, this will become second nature. A critical habit for success is maintaining a positive mindset. Your thoughts are incredibly powerful, and they shape your reality. If you constantly think about what you can't do, what you don't have, or what's going wrong, you will attract more of the same into your life. But if you shift your mindset and focus on the possibilities, the opportunities, and the progress you're making, you will create a positive feedback loop that propels you forward. To develop a positive mindset, you must practice gratitude. Take time every day to reflect on the things you're grateful for. This simple habit has a profound impact on your mental and emotional well-being. It shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's going right. When you adopt a mindset of abundance and gratitude, you will begin to see more opportunities, more solutions, and more reasons to keep moving forward. Lastly, one of the most important success habits is perseverance. Success doesn't come easy. It takes time, effort, and dedication. There will be obstacles, setbacks, and failures along the way. But the key to success is to keep going, even when things get tough. Perseverance is the habit of pushing through challenges and not giving up. It's about staying committed to your goals, no matter how difficult the journey may be. Developing perseverance requires resilience. You need to learn how to bounce back from setbacks, learn from your mistakes, and keep moving forward. The most successful people are the ones who refuse to quit, even in the face of adversity. They understand that every challenge is an opportunity to grow, and they use each failure as a stepping stone to success. Success is not about talent. It's not about luck. It's about the habits you create and how consistent you are in showing up and doing the work. If you want to create success habits that never fail, you must start by making the decision to commit to your goals, to build consistency, to manage your time effectively, to practice discipline, and to maintain a positive mindset. When you make these habits a part of your daily routine, you will see massive growth and success in your life. Chapter 20. Become the person the 98% admire. To become someone the majority admires, you must first learn what sets those who are admired apart from the rest. It's not the superficial things. It's not the money, fame, or temporary accomplishments. The people who earn admiration do so by living in alignment with their values, displaying resilience, and leading with integrity. These are the individuals who leave lasting impressions because they are grounded, consistent, and capable of inspiring others through their actions, not their words. If you want to be someone admired by the 98%, it's not enough to simply follow the crowd. You must lead yourself first. Become someone who stands out for their unwavering commitment to personal growth, integrity, and the pursuit of excellence. Your personal brand isn't just what you say, it's what you do every day, how you show up when no one is watching, and the way you navigate challenges with grace and persistence. The first trait admired by the masses is the ability to stay disciplined. In a world full of distractions and instant gratification, those who can stay focused and maintain self-control are the ones who rise above the noise. Discipline doesn't come easily, but it is something you can cultivate over time through intentional actions. It's about sticking to your goals, even when the initial excitement fades. When you choose discipline over convenience, you begin to separate yourself from those who drift along without direction. People admire discipline because it represents the ability to stay committed, even when life gets difficult. It's the person who wakes up early, works consistently, and never loses sight of their objectives. They don't wait for motivation to strike. they create it through action. If you want to be the person everyone looks up to, build the habit of showing up every day, regardless of how you feel. When you consistently perform at a high level, people will notice. Your actions will speak louder than any words ever could. The second trait that commands admiration is resilience. Life is full of challenges, setbacks, and failures. But how you respond to adversity will define you. Those who are admired by the 98% are not those who have never faced hardships. They are the ones who have faced challenges head-on and emerged stronger. Resilience isn't about avoiding failure. It's about embracing it and learning from it. Resilient people are not defined by their circumstances, but by how they handle them. They understand that failure is not permanent unless you allow it to be. They pick themselves up, learn from their mistakes, and keep pushing forward. If you want to become the person everyone admires, you must develop a mindset that views challenges as opportunities for growth. When you fall, get back up stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever. The ability to bounce back from setbacks is what earns you respect in the eyes of others. Another key trait admired by the masses is self-awareness. People who are self-aware understand their strengths and weaknesses. They are honest with themselves about who they are and what they want, and they make decisions that align with their core values. Self-awareness allows you to create a life that is authentically yours, without worrying about what others think. It enables you to act with intention and purpose, knowing that your actions are aligned with your true self. Those who lack self-awareness often find themselves drifting, unsure of what they want or how to achieve it. But when you know yourself, when you understand what drives you, what challenges you, and what you value, you can make better decisions and take action that moves you closer to your goals. People admire those who are clear about their vision and unapologetically pursue it. They admire individuals who don't need external validation because they are already grounded in their own truth. One of the most important qualities that set admired people apart is their ability to communicate effectively. Communication is more than just speaking. It's about listening, understanding, and connecting with others. People who are able to communicate their ideas clearly and listen with empathy are able to build deep, meaningful relationships. These relationships are the foundation of influence. Being able to inspire and motivate others through your words is a powerful tool for success. Effective communication goes beyond just getting your message across. It's about building trust and connection. When you listen with intent, when you speak with purpose, and when you take the time to understand the perspectives of others, you become someone others turn to for guidance. People admire those who can lead through communication, who can connect with others on a human level, and who can express their thoughts in a way that resonates with people's emotions. Leadership is another key factor that contributes to admiration. It's not enough to be successful yourself. You must also inspire and uplift others. Leadership is about empowering those around you to become the best versions of themselves. A true leader doesn't just give orders, they set an example. They show up consistently, display resilience, and hold themselves accountable. People admire leaders who lead with humility and who are genuinely concerned about the well-being and growth of others. To become the person the 98% admire, you must learn to lead by example. Be the person others can rely on. Offer guidance when needed, but also step back and let others shine. A great leader empowers others to take ownership of their own success. When you help others achieve their goals, you earn the admiration and respect of those around you. But leadership also requires integrity. Integrity is the cornerstone of respect. When you act with honesty, follow through on your commitments, and stand by your principles, people will trust you. Integrity means doing the right thing, even when no one is watching. It means being consistent in your actions and words. People admire those who are true to themselves and to others. They respect those who live by a strong moral compass and who are unafraid to make difficult decisions that align with their values. Furthermore, kindness is an often overlooked quality that leads to admiration. In a world where competition and individualism are often prioritized, it takes a special person to practice kindness and compassion. But kindness isn't about being a pushover, it's about treating others with respect, offering help when needed, and uplifting those around you. When you lead with kindness, you build trust and create an environment of collaboration rather than competition. Kindness allows you to build relationships that are based on genuine care, not manipulation or self-interest. It's the quality that makes you approachable, relatable, and easy to work with. People admire those who make others feel valued and heard. They admire those who treat everyone with respect, regardless of their status or position. Finally, to become the person the 98% admire, you must constantly be evolving. The person you are today is not the person you have to remain tomorrow. The key to earning admiration is to keep growing, to keep striving to become the best version of yourself. This requires an openness to learning, feedback, and self-improvement. Those who are admired are not stagnant. They are always pushing the boundaries of their potential. They are lifelong learners, constantly seeking to expand their knowledge, improve their skills, and refine their character. When you commit to personal growth, you not only improve yourself, but also set an example for others. You show them that change is possible, that growth is not just a possibility but a responsibility. People admire those who embrace growth, who are willing to step outside their comfort zone and confront their weaknesses. By becoming a better version of yourself every day, you inspire others to do the same. In conclusion, becoming someone the 98% admire is about more than just achieving success. It's about cultivating